right, people, we here. We here. We got a crazy one. This call for emergency action. Damn, what's up, people? Damn, everybody jumping in. Shit, let's go. I ain't even gonna waste no time. Fuck it.
Source.
And welcome back. There's more ABC News live coverage ahead of President Biden's high-stakes news conference wrapping up this week's NATO summit in Washington. The president is set to speak minutes from now, seeking to reassure American voters and allied leaders alike that he has what it takes to serve another 4 years. A short time ago, he and other world leaders signed what they're calling the Ukraine Compact. But in that moment, Biden mistakenly referred
Hey,
to
y'all let me
Ukrainian
know if
President
that's too
Volodymyr
loud.
Zelensky as President Putin. Take a listen.
And now I want to hand it over to the president of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin. President Putin. He's going to beat President Putin. President Zelensky. I'm so focused on beating Putin, we got to worry about it. Anyway.
Of course, the fallout from President Biden's disastrous debate performance has loomed large over this NATO summit as he faces growing pressure to drop his re-election bid over on Capitol Hill.
This fool already messing up. Yo call Zelensky Putin. This guy is crazy.
Number of Democrats publicly calling on him to step aside has now grown to 15, and that includes a senator. Also, ABC News Washington Post Ipsos poll shows 85% of voters say that they believe Biden is too old for a second term. That is a sharp increase from a little more than a year ago. Joining me for more on this is our ABC News White House correspondent, Mary Alice Parks. She's there on the North Lawn, along with ABC News political director and Washington bureau chief Rick Klein, and ABC News contributing political correspondent and co-author of the Politico Playbook newsletter, Rachel Bade, and ABC News contributor and security and defense analyst Mick Mulroy, and host of the Politics podcast from our partners at 538, Galen Druk. So, Mary Alice, let's start there with you there at the North Lawn. Like, you talked to me earlier about how you have covered this president for a very long time. We have seen gaffes like this made before, but in this moment, in this high stakes moment where Democrats specifically are expecting perfection ahead of his news conference, how does a gaffe like that go over?
Look, the president himself, his campaign, the White House has pointed to tonight as an example of the kind of night that Democrats, that voters across the board should be clued into. They've said, watch him in these unscripted moments. Now, this wasn't exactly that. He was reading from a teleprompter. In my head, this was a different kind of gaffe, not a great look on a night like tonight. But they have said this is the kind of moment where voters should be looking to the president to feel better about his presidency, his candidacy, his stamina, his ability to do the job. So look, he's not getting off to a great start, and this is by them setting their own bar, raising their own stakes. I mean, I think that it is not lost on me that he needs to do well, and I guess I'm thinking about the fact that we're not talking today about swing voters, independent voters, voters that were already skeptical of President Biden. We are still talking about Democrats, base voters, and elected members of Congress in his own party that are continuing to show so much frustration, so much anxiety and panic about his ability to do the job and his ability to campaign for these next few months, and eventually whether or not he has any path or viable path to beat Donald Trump. He is at this point where he has to convince his own party still, Kana, and you just don't do that by starting off a high stakes night like tonight with a gaffe like that.
Certainly not. Didn't have a primary. They told the American people, this is your candidate. And there is a lot of concern right now from the American people that Democratic leadership shielded him and that the American people weren't really aware of his status and his actual mental acuity. And now I know that you have a statement from a congresswoman out of Washington state, and the words and the groundswell continue to grow here as people are urging for him to step down for the sake of the Democratic Party.
Yeah, and I think you make a point that a lot of Democrats that I've talked to over the last 2 weeks have made, is that they wish this was a debate that was out in the open a year ago. They recognize what Joe Biden has said, that he won the Democratic primaries fair and square. That's all well and good, but these were wired. These were.
Hey, y'all let me know. Y'all let me know in the chat, man. Should he step down? It's already talked. Like, I've been seeing videos of Biden being impeached and all that stuff. Like, So what y'all think? Y'all think he's out of here? Like this is last time? Like let me know.
Set up for him to win, to make sure that he would be essentially the only candidate who could win the nomination. That is in the backdrop, that is in the background of what's going on now. And now to have Democrats in Congress coming out and saying not just that he should step aside politically, that he's hurting their chances, but at least one now saying that she doubts his ability to actually make decisions on the job. She doubts whether he's currently the person making decisions without any evidence. That is a wild accusation that takes things, I think, to a level that is very difficult to recover from. Regardless of how tonight goes, you now have Democrats on the record saying that to me it crosses an important threshold. That yes, to your point, this was the Joe Biden that showed up on a debate stage 2 weeks ago. He hadn't debated anyone in 4 years, in part because the Democratic Party fell in line behind him, and in part because he has been well protected by a lot of people around him.
He certainly has been. Again, we keep hearing that he has been shielded in a way. And so, Rachel, we take this to you. Look, think about what it's been like today for the president when we have this polling out that shows that his vice president is polling better than he is in a matchup with Donald Trump within the margin of error. It's important to point out. But that's how he started his day. He knows that the Democratic Party needs to see perfection from him. And then he starts off with this gaffe. So how not only are Democrats going to react to this, but Republicans, Rachel?
Yeah, look, of course, Republicans are going to seize on this. They're going to use it on campaign ads. It's going to be all over, Fox News and conservative media as well. But look, the Democrats, the White House specifically, they're not worried about Republicans right now. As Mary Alice was just saying, they're focused completely on trying to assuage Democrats and stopping this bleeding that's happening right now and preventing this domino effect that could happen as soon as this press conference is over. And this is not a good start for him. Democrats are going to say, look, yes, we understand that he corrected himself. He realized he made a mistake and fixed it very quickly, but that doesn't matter. To voters, they know sort of the quick headline of things. They might not have seen the full comments. The thing that's going to stick out to them is this notion that Biden mixed up the president of Ukraine and the president of Russia. And that's going to just be the issue right there. So, look, I'm not sure that this is going to help him at all.
Quiet. I'm doing a laugh. No.
I mean, certainly not. And so, Mick, we take that to you, right? Because we know that world leaders are watching this. We know that both our allies, they've been watching how this is all playing out, foes as well, of course, because there is concern about what's happening in the Middle East. There's concern about what's happening with Ukraine as well. And so Biden takes this moment to pledge U.S. support for Ukraine, and then he makes this gaffe. And Mick, you talk consistently about how Russia only responds to strength. Is Biden viewed as a strong leader?
So, Ken, I think that the NATO leaders that are currently in Washington do view him as a strong leader. His policies has really resulted in strong support for Ukraine through all of this, which needs to continue, I think, in NATO's mind, because quite frankly, as you point out, if Russia thinks it can succeed in NATO, in Ukraine, the next stop could be a NATO country, and then we would all be at war because of Article 5 of the convention. That has been challenged by former President Trump, who has said essentially that he would not come to the defense of certain NATO countries if they were attacked by Russia. So this is very consequential to them. I think they'll be looking at this press conference, not so much of what President Biden is going to say. I think they know what he's going to say, but how he says it, because it could be determinative on whether President Biden stays in the race and whether, if he does, whether he is successful in November. And that has consequences to them.
It certainly does. And as Mick is talking, you can see this video here off to the side. What you're seeing there is a different angle. And you are seeing President Zelensky's reaction to the moment that President Biden mistakenly called him President Putin. And so you're seeing Zelensky's reaction there right before he went to the podium. So, Galen, I want to bring you in here because you've been talking a lot about this polling. And it really, the polling is showing that Americans, a lot of them, believe that President Biden is too old to run for re-election. But Galen, if he were to not be on the top of the ticket here, where does the argument start for Republicans if Kamala Harris is then at the top of the ticket?
Yeah, I think one of the arguments that you've already heard is that she...
No cap. He's definitely too old. They said this dude gonna be like 89 if daggone he do another 4 years. So, oh snap! Hey, fool! I gotta go. I gotta go. I'm on live. I'm on the live. I gotta go. My fault. The homies had jumped into my party to try and get me on the game. But yeah, man, like this the thing. If Joe Biden doesn't make it, then obviously it goes to the vice president. The vice president is Kamala, whatever the hell that girl name is. No matter, I don't care. But I told B cause I had to do emergency live cause B the one was telling me that Kamala might be the new president. And I'm like, no, ain't no daggone way. But the way they sounded, they trying to get Trump out of there. I mean Trump. They trying to get Joe out of there. Like, yeah, they trying to straight get him out of there, slide somebody else in. And with Joe being Joe, they saying, look at him, bruh. Look at him. He can't even. He calling the damn president of Ukraine Putin. Look at him. They just. How come every time this guy got to do something in front of the camera, they always showing his bad side? They don't never capture his good side. They always capture his bad side. It's shit crazy, bro. It's like, is it a scheme to get him out of there? Because they know, like, look, bro, you ain't nothing we can do for you anyway type stuff, or it's like, I don't know. This should get interesting by the day, because another thing that I was telling Theo, and it was this time that the dude Brian that I used to work with, he was ready to get he was like the closest one to get the job over everybody, being like kind of like the foreman over everybody. And it was this white dude named Ed, and yo was like, nah, fuck that. I ain't working for Brian. I don't give a fuck that. I'll go up there and I'll motherfucking cuss Don ass out. I'll motherfucking quit all that shit. I am not working for. And I had to look at him like, damn, why is it you don't want to work for him? Is it because he's a different color than you? Or, so if people feel like that about their job, just imagine having a black woman president. Oh my gosh. A woman president alone sounds crazy. They don't even want women preachers. So to actually have a woman president sounds crazy. That a black woman president? Oh my gosh, bro. Oh my gosh, bro. Hey, y'all get ready. I'm telling you, Civil War, bro. Y'all get ready, bro. Yeah, I mean, Trump, Biden asked him, like, yeah, I mean, yeah, you go denounce the Proud Boys or whatever. Shit, Trump holding on to the Proud Boys just like that. How you say that Trump card? Yeah, he gonna pull that Trump card out on y'all ass. Yeah, man, y'all better get ready. I know that.
He didn't actually win a Democratic primary. And so Democrats have been taking the case to the American people that Donald Trump himself is an anti democracy candidate because of January 6th and his activities surrounding that. They're trying to turn the argument on its head and say, well, if it's not Joe Biden, the person who won the primary, then it wasn't a democratic process. To be clear, the parties are not in the Constitution, and the process for picking a nominee for each of the parties is largely left up to them. The parties can design the process the way they like. And so if they want to replace Biden one way or another, it is a possibility that the Constitution, for example, will not prevent them from doing.
All right, this is a wild time in our democracy. Mary Alice, Rachel, Mick, and Galen, thank you all for being here with us. We always appreciate you, and thank you for streaming with us. I'm Kana Whitworth. We'll, of course, bring you the President's High Stakes News Conference live when it happens. First, though, we have more special coverage coming up. The news never stops. Neither do we. Stay with us.
Ah, man. What y'all think, man? What y'all think, man? Y'all think Joe out of there? Heavy Lefty said, "Nah, they nominated him, so now they stuck with him, low key. That means so you can't change it. You can't change the game now. You right. You're right. Y'all wanted them so bad. You know what I'm saying? So y'all got them, and now you see how much bullshit is going on. Yeah, ain't no trying to get rid of them now. Joe saying, shit, I'm good. Joe said, I'm good. I got 4 more years in me. Yeah, Joe said, I'm good. I got 4 more years in me. I'm straight. You know what I mean? I might not, you know what I mean, the smooth walking criminal like I used to be, but I still got it in me. Everybody else don't think so, Joe. They losing faith in you, Joe. Joe, have a man Martin. Come on, Joe. Tell them something, Joe. Tell them something, Joe. I might have to add that in. Yeah, I mean. No, for real, Heavy. Tell them something, Joe, please. Shit, they need to know. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, bruh. I don't know. Like, I'm gonna say one thing. I'm gonna say one thing. Just watching all the videos that we seen of Joe Biden falling upstairs, falling downstairs, falling off the bike, mumbling and fumbling over his words. The guy just called the Ukraine president Zelensky Putin. So it's like, bruh, like this can make us as US look weak, not having a strong uh president. You see what I'm saying? Not having a president that's strong enough to do some shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. It's not looking too good. It's not looking too good, especially like I said, I seen Putin. I'm gonna pull that clip up. I seen Putin in the fucking jujitsu fucking dojo teaching a little young boy how to jujitsu flip somebody. And the boy couldn't do it at first. You know what I mean? So Putin called the little boy over. He like, no, you gotta grab him up underneath head, then you gotta rotate him like that. And sure enough, the boy did exactly what Putin told him, and jujitsu flipped him. Grown man. So it's like, bro, you show me a clip of Biden motherfucking got some boxing gloves on, or motherfucking jogging. You know what I'm saying? You can't stand up right on a bike. He fell holding a bike. He wasn't even riding. I take it back. I think he like kind of like glided into a stop and couldn't control this shit and fell. And it's like, bro, but it just shows that he's not the guy that we need as the face of our great country. That's all I'm saying.
the president to step aside. So I can tell you that everyone here in Washington is closely watching this. The White House knows that every single word is going to be scrutinized.
Of course, people are going to be hanging on every word. And Mary Alice, we also know that congressional lawmakers are concerned. But who would you say is Biden's target audience with tonight's press conference?
I mean, really, the voters. The president needs to reassure not only swing voters, but Democratic base voters that he is up for this job, that he has the stamina to do this job, the stamina to keep campaigning and effectively message. I mean, look, the president had hoped that this week was going to be about NATO, was going to be about his support for NATO, the ways that he's been able to bring the alliance together. He wanted to draw a clear contrast between his support for NATO and that of former President Donald Trump. So that you saw the campaign put out an ad today where they wanted to highlight that difference. Instead, the president has been engulfed in this crisis, this political crisis about whether he is up for the job. He really knows that his audience is the American people. He needs to reassure them in his confidence and restore confidence in his abilities.
And the White House is, of course, pushing today's new economic numbers, increase in new jobs, lowering inflation. But it seems to all be getting lost still in the questions that remain about Biden's capacity, his acuity. Is that part of the main issue here, that the president is unable to amplify wins like these because potentially concerns over his capabilities continue to dog him?
Absolutely. And he hasn't been able to switch the conversation to Trump. For so long, the theory of the case from Democrats, from Biden's own team, has been that they can win this election if they, frankly, make the American people remember why they didn't like former President Trump, why they didn't give him a second term. The problem for the president now is that he hasn't been able to get past that debate performance, hasn't been able to bring the conversation back to one focused on Trump, or like you said, one where he's able to talk about his own accomplishments. Instead, they don't see, and Democrats tell me they are worried they don't see a path from the campaign out of this right now, how to switch the conversation beyond anything around, beyond the president's own sort of capabilities and abilities in this moment, Lindsay.
And we know the Democrats are, of course, being tight-lipped or either towing the party line in front of the camera. But what do your sources say that the discussions are like behind closed doors?
So much anxiety. I mean, I talked to one person who works for the party today who told me, and he was willing to go on the record as someone who works for the party. He said that this is a campaign that is paralyzed, that no one believes at this point that they can win. He said that members are not stupid. Members of Congress he was referring to are not stupid. If the campaign had real numbers to back up a pathway to re-election, they would come to the Hill and show everyone those numbers. But so far, we've heard from members of Congress themselves, they did not see much data presented from the campaign today. Look, the members of Congress are also talking to their voters, their constituents, the people that they represent, and they are hearing over and over, they're telling us that they are hearing a real concern, even from Democratic-based voters, that the president should step aside. I mean, I think the crisis within the Democratic Party is real. It is being felt right now, and it really, like we've been talking about all day, raises the stakes for this press conference tonight.
Yeah, something we have been talking about for days now is this crisis. Mary Alice Parks from the White House, and thank you so much. And now we want to bring in our chief White House correspondent, Mary Bruce, who reports in from the NATO summit today.
President Biden stood on a stage alone and faced reporters. Tonight's news conference, a critical test. His campaign well aware every word will be scrutinized. He has to show the American people he has what it takes in live, unscripted moments to beat Donald Trump and serve another 4 years, or else the steady stream of Democratic defections could become a flood. Just moments ago, the president misspeaking in a NATO event, introducing Ukrainian President Zelensky as Russia's Vladimir Putin, before quickly correcting himself.
Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin. President Putin. He's going to beat President Putin. President Zelensky. I'm so focused on beating Putin, we got to worry about it. Anyway, Mr. President,
I'm better.
You are a hell of a lot better.
It comes as our new ABC News Ipsos poll shows 85% of Americans think he's too old for a second term. Biden has defiantly insisted he's not going anywhere.
I am running and going to win again.
And our national poll shows even after that disastrous debate, the president remains locked in a dead heat with Trump, 46.
What y'all think? What y'all think? Got 27 in here. What y'all think, bro? Y'all think Biden is still capable enough for another 4 years? Or you think, yeah, man, they should pass it to this lady right here, Kamala Harris? Yeah, man, you think she needs to go ahead and take over? I don't know. It's looking a little scarce for Trump out there, though. It's looking a little scarce. It look like Trump might not, yeah, man, come back like everybody thought he was. I thought, yeah, man, it was gonna be like, yeah, man, Mace when he came back, like LL Cool J. You know what I'm saying? Like when he came back to rap and shit, like I thought it was gonna have a big impact. I guess not. Look at the poll. The poll saying they still not rocking with Trump either. This gonna be. Oh, it's gonna be a crazy plot twist on this what election coming up.
The race, but urging him to make that decision soon.
It's up to the president to decide if he is going to run. We're all encouraging him to make that decision because time is running short.
Mary Bruce for that. More than a dozen Democrats on the Hill are now publicly calling for President Biden to step aside. Today, officials from President Biden's campaign went to the Hill to meet with Senate Democrats. The meeting described at times as tense. Was it enough to convince them? Our senior congressional correspondent Rachel Scott picks up the coverage now from Capitol Hill.
Behind closed doors, Senate Democrats listened for more than 2 hours as top Biden campaign officials made their case for why the president could still win in November and should stay in the race.
What's on everybody's mind, is there a clear path to victory here? And can we honestly say that we're on a path to defeating Donald Trump and holding onto the Senate and holding onto the House of Representatives?
One senator describing the meeting as tense at times. We're told a number of lawmakers complained to the Biden team that they were being put in difficult, impossible, and untenable positions, having to defend the president's disastrous debate performance to their constituents back home. One senator telling ABC News, "I needed to see hard data that showed a path to success in November, and we did not get that."
Senator Whitehouse,
2 hours later, the meeting breaking up, the president's aides leaving, senators filtering out.
Some of my concerns are allayed. Some others have been deepened.
I spoke with Senator Sheldon Whitehouse of Rhode Island as he was heading into the meeting.
Do you believe that President Biden is the best person to defeat Donald Trump in November?
I am going to hold off until we've had this conversation where they will discuss that exact point.
This was Senator Whitehouse after the meeting broke up.
How would you describe the meeting?
Cordial and constructive.
Constructive, okay, but not necessarily enough so far.
I'm not going to characterize it that way.
Peter Welch of Vermont is the only senator to openly call for the president to drop out. Writing in the Washington Post, "We have asked President Biden to do so much for so many for so long. It has required unmatched selflessness and courage. We need him to put us first, as he has done before." I asked him if today's meeting changed his mind.
I have not changed my mind, but I really appreciate the White House folks coming over.
West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin hinting the situation will come to a head this weekend.
I think everyone will be talking over Friday, Saturday, and by Sunday you should have some idea of what's
Don't
going
be
on.
loud, bro.
To Rachel Scott for that. And we turn now to ABC News analyst and Politico senior Washington correspondent Rachel Bade. Rachel, thank you for joining us. So you're hearing from some Democrats tonight that they actually want Biden to have a bad night. Explain that.
Yeah, look, there's not a lot of them who are saying this, but some are telling me privately, yes, they feel like they have been in a nightmare situation now for 2 weeks. Everything is about the Democrats sort of having this meltdown. There's nothing about Trump. They can't focus on keeping the White House in November because they don't even know what's going to happen to the top of their own ticket. And so privately, some Democrats are frankly wanting Biden to put them all out of their misery at this point. There is a feeling behind the scenes that if he does well tonight, that it's just going to sort of prolong the inevitable. Most Democrats are telling me right now, maybe not on the record, but they're certainly saying that they think it's a matter of time before he's going to be pushed aside, that he's going to step aside himself. And so the thought is, if he has a bad night tonight, it will sort of unify the party.
Bad night. Look, from what I see in every video of Biden, in every clip of Biden, is always a bad night for Biden. As I just said that at the beginning, like, I have yet to see them capture the good, like, how like they be like, no, not on that side. That's my bad side. They always catch him Biden on his bad side, bro. They don't never catch him on his good side. And so it's like, at this point in time, if they always catching him on his bad side, this is why I called for an emergency live, because I had a feeling this shit was gonna be entertaining. So hey, we over here we gotta lighten the mood sometime. And Biden, hey, tonight's your night, bro. We need you to come give us your best stand-up performance, bro. Real talk. Shit.
And they'll easily be able to sort of put all this behind them. Biden will sort of force himself out. It's interesting, just a couple of hours ago, Biden had this flub on the stage when he was up there with President Zelensky. He accidentally called him Putin. And I reached out to one longtime, very senior House Democratic aide. I asked, well, what do you think about that? What do you make about it? And he said, it's going to set this town right. Again, it's the sentiment that people are going to see what's going on, and the Democratic Party is going to have to confront what, their nominee at this point, and that they basically want to put this behind them.
And as we're talking to you, Rachel, we see a split screen live shot of that high stakes press conference that is about to begin in just minutes, capping off several days now that the president has spent with world leaders during the NATO summit. Obviously, it goes without saying that there's just so much riding on tonight's press conference. What are you going to be watching for in particular, Rachel?
Yeah, look, I'm going to be seeing which version of Joe Biden do we see tonight. Is it the Joe Biden who showed up on the debate stage, who couldn't finish, a complete sentence, who had his sort
My fault. I'm back. I'm back. This what I was trying to say about the debate, in that they held the debate in a bubble. You see all these people out here, they ready to ask questions. They ready to give curveball questions. I'm from the beginning of the live, they was telling us that one of the, this could be, hey, me ball, hush. This could be a viral moment from one of the reporters, because if they get a question that can stump him and make him stutter on stage or mess up on stage and stuff, they can receive a payday. So they out here putting bounties on Biden's head, bro. Like, bro, they put a bounty on. They say, hey, whichever reporter can stump can stump Biden the best, bro. We got y'all. We go, yeah, me take care of y'all. Get y'all a care package. That shit wild, bro. So, man, this shit crazy. This shit crazy.
sort of train of thought often, go off and trail without making a complete argument or conclusion? Or is it the Joe Biden we saw when he sat down with George Stephanopoulos, which, Democrats felt wasn't great, but it also wasn't as bad as the debate performance? So which version are we going to see tonight? But I got to say, Lindsay, I'm hearing from sources that it doesn't necessarily matter how well he does. He could have a perfect performance tonight. I have talked to Democrats who already have press releases drafted and ready to go, and they're going to be sending them either tonight or tomorrow. So look, that just tells you right there that what he does tonight, it doesn't matter. And when I say press releases, I mean press releases calling for him to step aside.
From what levels can we say? Are these governors? Are they
Right.
senators? Are they members of the House?
Lawmakers, Lindsay. And this is all because Nancy Pelosi, she was key this week in organizing these members behind the scenes. Yes, Nancy Pelosi, who is one of Joe Biden's top allies, who over the years has become very good friends with him, helped him pass the legislation that would become the cornerstone of his legacy. She was the one who behind the scenes talked to members and said, look, you've got to represent your district. If your constituents are saying Biden needs to go, you need to say that. Don't be afraid to say that. Her one request was wait until after the NATO summit is finished. The NATO summit just wrapped up a couple of hours ago. We're already seeing some members start to trickle out, but again, there's going to be more members who potentially come out tonight and tomorrow.
And we've also heard from President Barack Obama initially the day after the debate, basically saying, look, folks, I've had bad debates too. This is not unusual for people to have a bad night. But now it sounds like he may, in addition to Nancy Pelosi, be playing some kind of role behind the scenes. What are your sources telling you?
Yeah, really fascinating. I mean, George Clooney, famous actor, Democratic donor, wrote this op-ed that sort of shocked everyone yesterday, where he said, I love Joe Biden. He's done a great job as president. But look, what you saw on the debate stage a couple of weeks ago, that's the Joe Biden I've seen up close and personal. And I've talked to all these members of Congress, all these Democratic leaders. Everybody agrees he has to go, or they're going to lose the White House. Democrats will lose the White House and they'll lose the Congress. George Clooney, before he actually penned that op-ed, he actually consulted and talked to former President Barack Obama.
That's what I'm saying. That's a great point, Heavy Lefty. I mean, like, he's giving Trump so much ammunition to respond, and that's what I was trying to get back to. Like, seeing all the videos and stuff like that, bro. It's like, Yeah, you got at this point in time, bro. You kind of like gotta get him out of there, bro, because he makes us look weak. He makes us look weak, bro. Like like we can't do nothing on our own type stuff. Like he, bro, he falling off bikes and stuff, bro. Come on, man, falling down, falling off a stage. I forgot he fell off the stage, bro. That shit wild. I definitely forgot he fell off the stage. So I'm saying like shit like that, bro. Just make you can't be the president doing shit like that, bro. Nah, nah. You look too weak.
Two are very close friends. They were both at a fundraiser for Biden just a few weeks ago, where people felt Biden was really struggling and not basically showing that he was having trouble like keeping up with everyone. So Barack Obama did not advise him against writing this op-ed. He sort of, allowed his friend to do this, and so that's just one example where Barack Obama clearly.
Man, that leg hair shit, bro. Yeah, they like rubbing my leg hair and then watching the water, bro. You don't get your old ass, man. Say, bro, shit, wow.
A powerful person. He's close with George Clooney. He could have advised him not to run this. He could have said, look, this is bad for the party. We got to stick with Joe Biden. He didn't. And that's what's going on with Nancy Pelosi. It's what's going on with Chuck Schumer in the Senate. And it's what's going on with Hakeem Jeffries in the House. All these leaders, members look to them for messaging guidance. If they were out there saying, Joe Biden's our guy, everyone needs to stop, undercutting him. What you're seeing right now, it's not as bad as what perhaps you think it is. If they were working behind the scenes to keep Democrats in line, that would be one thing, but none of them are doing this. And I think it's really fascinating because, all these Democratic leaders, they're the ones who could potentially have the sway to push Joe Biden out. It's important to note that in George Stephanopoulos' interview, he actually asked Biden point blank, what would you do if Nancy Pelosi, Hakeem Jeffries, and Chuck Schumer came to you and said, step aside? He wouldn't answer that question, Lindsay. And there's a reason he wouldn't answer that question, because that would be a really tough thing for Biden to ignore. And yet it looks like increasingly we are reaching a moment like that.
And I know, Rachel, at this point, I'm asking you to read tea leaves here. And I guess that's a little bit what political punditry is, but you have the added benefit of having some close sources there. But one thing that you said really I thought was very interesting, in that it really doesn't matter if he's perfection tonight. If this speech is flawless, it sounds like that is not going to be enough. And really, I guess, so my question is, initially I was going to say, are we prolonging then the inevitable if he has a great press conference tonight? The word inevitable is really what I want to ask you about. Does it seem like him stepping aside at this point is inevitable based on what you're hearing?
Look, it's going to be up to Joe Biden ultimately. And we know that he has a reputation for being rather stubborn, for saying, look, the media, Democratic establishment, people have underestimated me before, and I have overcome it. So it's going to have to be up to him to do this. But I do think that these lawmakers in Congress are realizing that they have an influence in this moment, that they can make their voices heard. They can address Biden privately as well and try to push him out. And so I think that we're starting to see the party, it's on that trajectory. It's hard for me to imagine a scenario where after tonight, that all of a sudden stops. I mean, it feels like a flip very much has been switched, Lindsay, and it does feel like it's a matter of time.
All right, Rachel Bade, we're going to ask you just to stand by for a moment and bring back in ABC's Mary Alice Parks from the White House again. And Mary Alice, we know Biden's campaign is testing head-to-head matchups of Vice President Kamala Harris against former President Trump. And an ABC News Washington Post Ipsos poll shows her with a 3% lead over Trump. Are Democrats really considering that possibility?
I think there are a few Democrats that are fantasizing about it. They've said as much to us privately. Look, the Biden campaign says that they have to do this kind of polling, especially because Republicans are starting to focus more of their attention onto the vice president, that Trump himself during his campaign events and stump speeches is focusing more on the vice president. But it is very interesting and very telling in this moment that they are spending time and dollars investing in this kind of polling. Look, Democrats that I've talked to also say that in some hypothetical situation where the president were to step aside, the cleanest, easiest path forward would be if he directed all of his delegates to just support the vice president to try to avoid a big, open, brokered convention. Now,
Man, say B, I was saying that. B you right. It's up. If they put Kamala in that damn seat as president, bruh. Ooh wee. First of all, now let's break this down. Like I said, black woman. First of all, then a woman president. First of all, so second of all, and then third, y'all wouldn't even go with the white woman when she tried to go for presidency. Y'all gonna motherfucker let this nigga in there? Oh man, yeah, I told y'all better be ready for civil war, bro. I'm telling you. Trump got them Proud Boys on standby, bro. They over there right now. Oh yeah. Great. Hey, grab me that over there. Yeah, they getting ready. They prepping. They getting their helmets together and all that shit, bro. What? Man, you thought they stormed that shit the first time. Mm. Man, say. Yeah. Yeah, bruh. Hey B, we not going. Hey yo, nah, B. B, wow. He said, nah. Look, y'all motherfucking black woman barely can take care of y'all damn house as it is so low. So you put you in a damn position like that, man. Y'all asses, man. Hey yo, B, wow. No cap, though. He ain't lying. Shit, that's all facts.
some Democrats still think that that would be good. It'd be healthy for the party to have kind of the frenzy of it, the craziness of it, that could be some healing in the chaos. But others say that the real straightforward, the most rational path would be for the president to just pass the torch to the vice president. But, to Rachel's point, they all also concede that this is a decision that the president is going to make. He's going to make it with a very small circle of advisors. In fact, that is something that many Democrats have lamented about. They feel like the president's inner circle is small and growing even smaller, and that this is just an incredibly personal decision that he is going to have to make with his family. It is worth noting here that he says he has already made this decision, right? He has been emphatic that he is staying in this race. We heard him tell George Stephanopoulos it would be the Lord Almighty would need to tell him that he can't win and that he needs to back out. But we have continued to hear from Democrats on Capitol Hill. Of course, we've talked a lot about those comments from Nancy Pelosi that suggest there is still some wiggle room here, some moment where the president could still change his mind. And of course, the growing question about how he would handle a moment if more and more elected members of his own party call for him to step aside.
We're continuing to see increased activity there as we await the president to address the group that is assembled and the nation and really world that's going to be listening to him tonight. Mary Alice, you have to be a fly on the wall as part of the Trump campaign. Now potentially preparing that this may not be that Biden may not be the nominee in the fall. It was interesting to see former President Trump say today that he's the guy that we've prepared for. And so it'll be interesting to see how they spend the next few days as they're preparing now for the Republican National Convention.
Yeah, absolutely. We know that they are still hoping that Biden is at the top of the ticket. They continue to think that he is easier to beat. In some ways, that is very telling, right? That Democrats are aware of this messaging from the Trump campaign that Biden, in their minds, is a weaker candidate. But I'm thinking again just about this week, about the NATO summit, sort of this global stage. This is the kind of moment where I think the president could have, in theory, made a real pitch to some of those conservative voters that were not interested in voting for former President Trump. Some of those Nikki Haley style voters who don't like the former president's foreign policy, who don't agree with some of the things that he has said about how he would potentially back out of NATO, how he would back out of support of Ukraine, the ways that he has potentially been cozy with Russia. This was exactly the kind of moment that the Biden team had hoped for, and really, I think, could have seized on to win over some of those swing voters. But all of that obviously lost in the noise here. The president just unable to get that kind of messaging across when so many questions instead circling around his own health condition and stamina.
And Mary, I also want to bring you the same question of the conversation that we talked about with Rachel Bade, and that is tonight's performance almost a moot point? Is even if it's flawless, would it be potentially too much, too little, too late for many of the donors and the head honchos of the Democratic Party?
Look, I think that there's a big party that we're talking about at many different levels here. We're talking about the president's reelection campaign, donors that support that campaign. But there's also the Senate map, the House map. I think that we have heard from some donors, and we'll likely continue to hear from some donors who might move their focus and talk publicly about moving their focus to other races. I can tell you that I've heard from staffers who are working to get Democratic senators reelected say that maybe it would actually help their case. People would be convinced that Trump was going to win, and so it would help Democrat Senate candidates up for reelection to make an argument that they will be this check on Trump. So will there be that kind of reshuffling of money and attention? Maybe. But look, we do still have 4 months. I think that to play devil's advocate here to this conversation, the president could, in theory, continue to turn the page, slowly restore confidence, but it will take moments like this, and it will take many, many more of them, I think. And of course, it'll take elected Democrats from sticking. They need to stick with him. I mean, he needs to find a way to stop this bleeding.
Sure. Well, only time will tell, as they say. Mary Alice from the White House, thank you. Of course, we'll be checking back in with you tonight. Tonight, members of the Democratic Party are also coming forward with concerns about President Joe Biden, dating back to almost a month ago. Concerns, they say, arose after they saw him just weeks before his debate with Donald Trump at the White House Juneteenth celebration. Olivia Rubin joins us now with more. Olivia, what are you hearing on that front?
Hey, no cap, bruh. No cap, bruh. I'm covering that. I'm covering that. B where she get put in there, bruh. I'm definitely covering that, bruh. Heck yeah. Oh heck yeah. What? Listen. Oh snap. Hey yo, if she come out to WAP, bruh, I'm dead, bruh. I'm dead, bruh. Oh damn. This gonna be wild, bruh.
Lindsay,
You gonna have a
fascinating
bonnet
new
on.
accounts from a number of lawmakers who were with President Joe Biden just weeks before the debate. There was this event at the White House. It was to celebrate Juneteenth. Some of the clips from that event actually went viral because the president appeared to not really be moving at that concert at the White House. And now I spoke with a number of attendees, lawmakers, a former White House Obama official.
Look at my guy, bro.
Were
Look at
at that
hold up.
event and are now
Damn.
saying that they did have concerns after seeing the president up close and personal at that event. One lawmaker ultimately said it was that event coupled with the debate that led him to come out and call for President Biden to step aside. He was one of the first.
I ain't gonna cap, bro. Yeah, bro. He is too old, bro. He is too old. This y'all, yo, you know what's messed up? You know what's messed up, bro? What's that guy name? Bernie Sanders. I was ready to call him Barry Sanders. Bernie Sanders. I think I'm saying that right. Wait, went to go for the presidency, bro. Y'all gave that man hell. Oh no, he too old. What we gonna do with his old ass? Hey, bro, I ain't gonna cap. He had more guff in him than Biden. He had way more guff in him than Biden, bro. I don't know what happened to him. What happened? AB, whatever happened to that guy, bro? But I know. Yeah, I mean, when he was going, y'all gave him hell, bro, about being old, bro. Birdie was slobbering. And man, he was in the wheelchair and all that, bro. Hey, bro, they had that man doing a conference from the nursing home, bro. That shit was wild. Hey, man. Hey, look. Shit, he just as old though. So shit, man. Hey, get this guy up out of here, bro. We need we need somebody new, bro.
To do so, Lindsay. And what he said was that because he had seen essentially Biden 2 times looking worrisome to him, he felt that he could not, believe that talking point that it was just one bad night, that he had seen Biden twice and that this was not just a bad night. Really fascinating stuff, Lindsay. One other lawmaker telling myself and Will Staken, who did this reporting, that she had seen Biden 4 times in person over the past year and had noticed that decline. She was so concerned at one point, Lindsay, she said she privately raised concerns to White House staffers, joking with them that they had to, quote, keep Biden stitched together until November. So really just some fascinating new reporting on how there potentially were some concerns, how Biden potentially was not looking so great even before the debate, and how that is shaking out now, Lindsay.
And this obviously goes to the belief among some that the debate was not an isolated event, although the president says it was. Do you think that tonight, potentially having one good night is able to counter potentially one bad night?
Well, you've heard from those that have been chasing around lawmakers, all week, that potentially it will not be enough.
That's what I'm saying, bro. We need youth. We need youth to be running our motherfucking country. Not these old ass dusty motherfuckers that you one step away from motherfucking breaking bones if they cough too hard. You know what I'm saying? Like motherfucking broke a rib because he coughed too hard. Like we don't need old ass people like that, bro. Like Heavy Lefty said, he'd be surprised at that if Biden could do 5 push-ups. We don't need a fucking person who can't do 5 push-ups to fucking be running this country. That does not put fear in my heart at all. Sorry, no, like, come on now. We need some youth. We need somebody that motherfucker. If it came down to it, they can hold his own. What if they break into the White House again and kidnap motherfucking this nigga? How can he fight his way? He can't fight his way out of a motherfucking wet blanket. I ain't even gonna say like no paper bag and now we gonna just use a blanket. You know what I'm saying? Cause that's normal shit. You wet a blanket and put that shit on top shit and they can't fight his way off that shit. We gotta do better. We gotta start electing these people better.
But it does seem, Lindsay, that every single time someone comes out to say, hey, I've seen President Biden up close and personal, and he is the man that we saw on the debate, it has not gone well for them. Think about the op-ed from George Clooney. He said that the Biden at the debate was the Biden at the fundraiser that he hosted weeks ago. Now you have multiple attendees at the White House, lawmakers. Like I said, a former Obama White House official telling me the Biden that they saw just 2 weeks before the debate was the Biden they saw at the debate. So it is the same idea that it is not one bad night, Lindsay.
A critical time for President Biden, his presidency, and his campaign, and another potential make or break moment. The president is about to hold his first full news conference in 8 months amid growing pressure from some members within his own party to withdraw from the race against Donald Trump. President Biden will be live here, unscripted, taking questions from reporters. The International Press Corps assembled after the NATO summit in Washington. Of course, that means the world is watching, the country is watching this tonight. The president has repeatedly insisted he will not step aside in this race, saying he is staying in this race for president. More than a dozen Democrats now on Capitol Hill have called for him to withdraw from the race, all of this after his debate performance. Earlier today, the president's top campaign aides went to Capitol Hill to meet with Senate Democrats behind closed doors, trying to ease their concerns, despite the turmoil of the last 2 weeks and the debate. Tonight, a new ABC News Washington Post poll, also conducted with Ipsos, showing President Biden and Donald Trump essentially tied. Trump at 47, Biden 46. The poll also shows Vice President Kamala Harris doing slightly better in a hypothetical matchup against Trump. Harris 49, Trump 46. The president set to take questions live. Again, an unscripted moment for him. Mary Bruce, you're in that room, and you know how rare this is.
It certainly is, David. It has been 8 months since we have seen the president come on a stage like this alone to face reporters, and he is under an intense microscope here tonight. The president well aware of that, David.
Mary Bruce, our chief White House correspondent, as we continue to watch this room, reporters in the room who are gathered now standing along with others. And here comes President Biden after the NATO summit in Washington. Let's listen.
Thank you. Please be seated. Well, good evening. We just concluded this year's NATO summit, and the consensus among the members was it was a great success. It's especially momentous because it represented the 75th year, the most important military defense alliance in the world's history of the world. We should never forget that NATO grew out of the wreckage of World War II, the most destructive war in history. The idea was to create an alliance of free and democratic nations that would commit themselves to a compact of collective defense. Standing together, they knew we'd all be safer. An attack on one would be treated as an attack on all. And it's worked because a would-be aggressor knows if they attack one of us, they'll be attacked by all of us. Sending that message is the best way to deter aggression and prevent wars in the first place. For those who thought NATO's time had passed, they got a rude awakening when Putin invaded Ukraine. Some of the oldest and deepest fears in Europe roared back to life because once again, a murderous madman was on the march. This time, no one cowered in appeasement, especially the United States. We collected intelligence that Russia was planning to invade Ukraine months before the invasion. I directed the intelligence community to be a significant amount of intelligence be declassified so I could start building an international coalition to oppose the invasion. Then in February, some of you remember, I warned the world that the invasion was imminent.
A boy only a couple minutes in, and you already bubble rapping. Shit crazy.
I rallied a coalition of 50 nations from Europe to Asia to help Ukraine defend itself. Many foreign policy experts thought as Putin amassed Russian forces just 100 miles north of Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine, but Putin thought it was the mother home of Russia. The capital would fall in less than a week. But the Ukrainian people, backed by a coalition to help build, stopped them. Today, Kyiv still stands, and NATO stands stronger than it has ever been. During the week of this summit, several heads of states made it a point in their statements to thank the United States and to thank me personally for all that NATO has achieved. NATO is not only stronger, NATO is bigger because we led the charge to bring in Finland and Sweden into the alliance. And it makes a gigantic difference. Excuse me. Meanwhile, my predecessor has made it clear he has no commitment to NATO. He's made it clear that he would feel no obligation to honor Article 5. He's already told Putin, and I quote, "Do whatever the hell you want." In fact, the day after Putin invaded Ukraine, here's what he said. It was genius. It was wonderful. Some of you forgot that, but that's exactly what he said. But I made it clear, a strong NATO is essential to American security. And I believe the obligation of Article 5 is sacred. And I would remind all Americans, Article 5 is invoked only once in NATO's long history, and that was to defend America after 9/11. I made it clear that I will not bow down to Putin. I will not walk away from Ukraine. I will keep NATO strong. That's exactly what we did, and exactly what we'll continue to do. Now, the future of American policy is up to the American people. This is much more than a political question. It's more than that. It's a national security issue. Don't reduce this to the usual testament that people talk about, issues of being a political campaign. It's far too important. It's about the world we live in for decades to come. Every American must ask herself or himself, is the world safer with NATO? Are you safer? Is your family?
No cap. No cap. These guys, they talking heavy lefty said that shit right, bro. They talking as if it's already predetermined that a war is coming. You know what I'm saying? Like he said in the beginning, when he messed up and called Zelensky Putin, he said, "Oh yeah, I'm just so focused on beating Putin," and it's like, bro, you somebody else said this. Y'all keep on poking that damn bed. Go ahead, keep poking that damn bed if you want to. And then when that bed lash out, yeah, I mean, y'all want to put the bed down and say the bed's bad. That he shouldn't have lashed out for you to keep plucking the bed in his balls and shit. You keep walking up behind the bed. Yeah, I mean, poking him between his booty and shit. No diddy. Like y'all keep on fucking around with this dumbass bed, grabbing his ears and flicking his nose and shit. And then when that motherfucker lash out and start fucking y'all up, y'all want to be, oh, he not supposed to do that. Nah, fuck that shit. Y'all keep antagonizing this motherfucker.
Family safer?
And then this motherfucker talking like as if he fitting the deuce, man. So hey, I'm gonna say it like this. We gonna set up a celebrity boxing match and have Putin versus Biden. Yeah, I mean, hey, we gonna settle it like that, bro. That's how we need to start selling this shit. Put them in the motherfucking ring and let them fight it out, and then whoever wins wins. And that's how we gonna go from there. That's how we should do it.
I believe the American people know the answer to all those questions is yes. And I believe the American people understand that America is stronger because of our alliances. I believe the American consensus from Truman to Reagan to me still holds today. America cannot retreat from the world. We must lead the world. We're an indispensable nation, as Madeleine Albright wrote. Now, let me turn to three other key issues. Just this morning, we had a great economic report showing inflation is down. Overall prices fell last month. Core inflation is the lowest it's been in 3 years.
Cat, nigga, stop lying. You lying to the public. Fucking you lying for? Ain't no inflation all the way the fuck up here. What are you talking about? Everything is high. When motherfucking McDonald's and shit is talking about being a luxury meal. When the fuck has McDonald's been luxury? A lot of times y'all motherfuckers eat McDonald's and then 10 minutes later y'all in the bathroom shitting that shit out in a couple minutes. Like stop playing. Ain't nothing luxurious about McDonald's. So the fact that I gotta spend damn near $10 on a meal, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. The hell you talking about inflation? My gas price every motherfucking day. Every day I look at that gas pump, I get mad. What are you talking about? 4 years ago, motherfucking gas was at $1.39, 150. Depending on where you at, might be like 200. You know what I'm saying? I mean 200, $2. Like, nah, bruh. Motherfucking milk. Yo, when has eggs, milk, and cereal all been the same fucking price? When has, yeah, just think about this. When has eggs, milk, and cereal all been the same price? Man, this nigga don't shut his fucking mouth. I'm sorry, bro. That shit just made me mad just now talking about that inflation shit. Get your ass the fuck out of here.
Prices are falling for cars, appliances, and airfares. Grocery prices have fallen since the start of the year. We're going to keep working to take down corporate greed to bring those prices down further. Meanwhile, Trump's calling for a 10% tariff on everything Americans buy, including food from overseas, vegetables, and other necessities. And economists tell us that would cost the average American working family another $2,500 a year. It's a tax of $2,500 a year. Second, our efforts to secure the border, southern border, is working. After Trump killed the bipartisan effort to secure the border, Republicans and Democrats had worked on, because he thought it would benefit me and make him a loser, Republicans walked away. So I took executive action last month. As a consequence, working with Mexico, border encounters have gone down over 50%. The current level.
This nigga talking about, bro? You got fucking hey yo, what? Yo, Trump said we building the wall, bro. We try to keep these motherfucking illegals out of here. Y'all said no, y'all. That nigga racist. Fuck Trump. He a racist. You should do that. Blah, 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 blah. What are you talking about, Joe? You the one opened the borders up for these motherfuckers to come through. What are you talking about? Oh man, bruh. I'm telling you, B, this is what I said on the last live, bruh. He gotta have one of those little earpiece, earwig things in his ear, and somebody must be telling them shit in his ear, and he gotta repeat that shit. Because, bro, this guy don't be he don't be making no sense at the time, bruh. Like, the fuck? Yo, oh my gosh.
Is lower today than when Trump left office. Third, for months, the United States has been working to secure a ceasefire in Gaza, to bring the hostages home, to create a path for peace and stability in the Middle East. 6 weeks ago, I laid out a detailed plan in writing. It was endorsed by the UN Security Council, the G7. That framework is now agreed on by both.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bruh. That's what I'm saying, bruh. When Trump was in office, like you said, when Trump was in office, he could hit Kroger's with 150 and get groceries for the week. Now that shit is almost 250. Like, come on now. That's inflation right there. If the inflation been going down, that means his comment would have read, yeah, now I spend 75 to 100. You see what I'm saying? Like, that would have been his comment now if inflation was going down, but inflation is rising, so that means you gotta spend more money. The fuck this guy is talking about?
Israel and Hamas. So I sent my team to the region to hammer out the details. These are difficult, complex issues. There's still gaps to close. We're making progress. The trend is positive. And I'm determined to get this deal done and bring an end to this war, which should end now. Let me conclude where I began. We're the United States of America. We are the indispensable nation. Our leadership matters. Our partnerships matter. This moment matters. We must rise to meet it. With that, I'll take your questions. I've been given a list of people to call on here. Reuters, Jeff Mason.
Mr. President, your political future has hung over the NATO summit a little bit this week. Speaker Pelosi made a point of suggesting that your decision on whether to stay in the race was still open. George Clooney and a handful of lawmakers have called on you to step aside. Reuters is reporting tonight that UAW leadership is concerned about your ability to win.
UAW just endorsed me, but go ahead.
Thank you. My question for you is, how are you incorporating these developments into your decision to stay? And separately, what concerns do you have about Vice President Harris's ability to beat Donald Trump if she were at the top of the ticket?
Look, I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she's not qualified to be president. So let's start there. Number one.
That boy, that boy already fucking up. That boy already fucking up. Yo said I ain't pick Vice President Trump to be vice president if I ain't think she could win. Bruh, this motherfucker is crazy, bruh. Get this fucking old ass delusional nigga the fuck out of here, bruh. The question was for Kamala Harris to beat Trump, not for Trump to beat Trump. What are you talking? Trump not even vice president. This guy's wild, bruh.
Fact is that the consideration is that I think I'm the most qualified person to run for president. I beat him once, and I will beat him again. Secondly, the idea, I served in the Senate a long time. The idea that senators and congressmen running for office worry about the ticket is not unusual. And I might add, or at least.
Hey, get this nigga some water, bruh. Get him some water, please. Y'all hear this man throat dry, bruh. Get that man some fucking water, bruh.
5 presidents running or incumbent presidents who had lower numbers than I have now, later in the campaign. So there's a long way to go in this campaign. And so I'm just going to keep moving. And because, look, I got more work to do. We got more work to finish. There's so much, we've made so much progress. Think about it. Think about where we are economically relative to the rest of the world. Name me a world leader who wouldn't want to trade places with our economy. We've created over 800,000 manufacturing jobs, 1.5 million. So things are moving. We got more to go. Working class people still need help. Corporate greed is still at large.
Boy, I love when this motherfucker get to talking about numbers, bro. When yo get to talking about numbers, bro, that shit be hilarious, bro. I swear, yo just be making up some random numbers in his head, bro. He got to, bro, because half the time he don't even remember the numbers he trying to say. That's how I know he just be making up numbers as he go on. Shit's wild.
Their prices, the corporate profits have doubled since the pandemic. They're coming down. And so I'm optimistic about where things are going. Danny Kemp, AFP.
Thanks. Thank you, Mr. President. I wanted to ask you about you mixed up Presidents Zelensky and Putin earlier today. And you now have sort of your key allies, including the British Prime Minister, the President of France, the German Chancellor having to step in and make excuses for you on that. Officials here are saying off the record that your decline has become noticeable. Hasn't this now, frankly, become damaging for America's standing in the world? Thank you.
Did you see any damage to our standing by leading this conference? Have you seen a more successful conference? What do you think? And the Putin piece, I was talking about Putin, and I said, and now, at the very end, I said, Putin. I said, no, I'm sorry, Zelensky. And then I added 5 other names. Look, guys, the idea anybody suggests that we haven't had an incredibly successful conference. How many times did you hear in that conference? I know it sounds too self-serving, but other leaders, heads of state, in thanking me, saying the reason we're together is because of Biden, because Biden did the following. Look, folks, this is well. Anyway, I thought it was most successful.
Come on, bro. Hey yo, I'm not gonna lie, bruh. So this is what I do. I do that shit all the time, and I know what's going on. So he's thinking of shit in his head to say, but then he realizes as he's gonna say this shit, it might go off topic, or he be ready to say something, and he might lose what his point was for going to say what he was saying. I do that shit all the time, so I know what how that feeling is when you go to say something, then you lose your train of thought and what. So it don't happen that often, but it happens enough to where as though I may have to stop what I'm saying, rethink it, and then say it again. He is doing this with every fucking thing he's ready to say. Every fucking he don't finish no sentences. And then his favorite line. And B caught this. Shouts out to B. B is in the chat. Yeah, man. Shouts out to B. B caught this. Yeah, the idea of this man, the idea of this guy. Yo, he's gonna say that probably about 50 more times throughout this conference thing. And yo, is yeah, it's like he be drunk, bro. Shouts out to Heavy Lefty. Heavy Lefty said a drunk is more coherent than this guy, and he is right, bro. He reminds me of somebody who is incoherent and they're trying to get their point across and they can't necessarily get it across because they fucked up. Hell yeah, that's exactly what it is, bro.
Conference I've attended in a long time, and find me a world leader who didn't think it was. Next one. Sorry, Nancy Cordes, CBS.
Thank you, Mr. President. You mentioned other instances in history where presidents have faced a challenge. But what makes this moment in history so unique is that it is not your enemies who are calling on you to reconsider your decision to stay in the race. It's your friends, supporters, people who think you've done a great job over the past 4 years. Have you spent time thinking about what it would mean for your legacy, which you've worked decades to build, if you stay in the race despite the concerns that voters say they have, and you lose to someone who you yourself have argued is unfit to return to the Oval Office?
Well, look, I'm not in this for my legacy. I'm in this to complete the job I started. As you recall, understandably, many of you and many economists thought.
Nah, fuck that. I thought the whole point. I thought the whole point was to have a legacy at the end. Because we don't remember Clinton, Bush, Reagan, JFK, fucking Al Gore. We don't remember all these. Was Al Gore? I could have sworn it was Al Gore. But anyway, fuck it. We don't remember these presidents just because these presidents was quote unquote good presidents and shit. No, it's the legacy they left behind. So that just goes to show me, you know what I'm saying, and it goes to tell me that you don't need to be in that fucking office. What job are you trying to complete? Because you ain't completed no real job, or you ain't really complete nothing while being in there. So what the fuck are you trying to complete? You see what I'm saying? We want a person that's gonna uh put us all into it, and not just oh, I'm going with this because this is what they said. Nah, see, and this is why y'all don't like Trump, is because Trump don't go with just whatever y'all say. It's a give and take thing. Yeah, you want me to play ball? Well, guess what? You got to play ball too. You know what I'm saying? It's just not. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna keep letting you hit me with the dodgeball, and I'm not gonna catch the bitch or evade or none of that shit. You see what I'm saying? It's like, come on now. We need a person that's gonna want to build a legacy behind that shit, and show like, okay, yo, this was the best. This why you won't never be considered one of the best presidents we ever had. You're going down as one of the worst. We can't even say Trump was one of the worst. I mean, before we might have, yeah, I mean, like, oh yeah, this guy's one of the worst. You know what I'm saying? But shit, them tunes got to change, and when motherfucker he started actually putting pieces and plays in order, and putting, hey, anytime anytime gas prices is down, food prices is down, you're able to get a check, save a couple dollars, build start a business and shit like that. That's a fucking good economy right there. That's a damn good economy. You ask yourself, can you do that now? Shit. Good luck.
thought my initial initiatives that I put forward can't do that. It's going to cause inflation. Things are going to skyrocket. The debt's going to go up. What are you hearing now from mainstream economists? 16 economic Nobel laureates said I've done a hell of a job. And under my plan so far and what's going to happen in the future if I'm reelected, that things are going to get much better. Our economy is growing. I was determined when I got elected to stop the trickle-down economic theory. That if the wealthy did very well, everybody else would do well. My dad was a well-read, decent guy. I don't remember much trickling down on his kitchen table. Middle-class people and working-class people need help. And so what happened is I decided to was able to implement as president what I believed when I was a senator. And that is that the way to build this economy is from the middle out and the bottom up. That way we grow the economy. And the wealthy still do very well. They do fine. And guess what? Find me an mainstream economist who said we haven't done well. What have we not done that isn't working right now? And so we got more to do, though. We got to finish the job. And by the way, I come from the corporate.
I'm telling you, B. I'm telling you, this dude, wow, bro. You'll say. I always told him I believed in the middle out and the bottom up, or some shit like that. What the fuck is you talking about, bro? What are you talking about? Everything you did so far was to is keeping the bottom at the bottom, and then not only on top of that, the extra shit that you did, yeah, man, you even managed to add some migrants in here to even take the lower classes spot. So it's like, what are you even talking about? Shouts out to Mom Deuce. Mom Deuce is in the building. She came through to watch her son today. Hey, that's what's up, ma. I appreciate you. I gotta start that. Mom Deuce on deck. Let's go.
State of the world. Delaware has more corporations registered in Delaware than every other state in the nation combined. I'm not anti-corporate, but corporate profits have doubled since the pandemic. Doubled. It's time things get back in order a little bit. It's time, for example, if I'm reelected, we're going to make sure that rents are kept at 5% increase of corporate rents for.
Now, now, this where I need y'all to pay attention. When these motherfuckers get to telling you what they fitting to do, yeah, you gotta pay attention to that shit, bro, because them motherfuckers don't be saying no random shit. That's why I say I wish I would have recorded the first Biden Trump joint and did a live on that joint, because Biden told us this shit was gonna happen in that joint a long time ago, bro. No cap. I'm not even gonna make that shit up.
Will need help. And so what happened is I decided to was able to implement as president what I believed when I was a senator. And that is that the way to build this economy is from the middle out and the bottom up. That way, we grow the economy. And the wealthy still do very well. They do fine. And guess what? Find me an economist, mainstream economist, who said we haven't done well. What have we not done that isn't working right now? And so we got more to do, though. We got to finish the job. And by the way, I come from the corporate state of the world. Delaware has more corporations registered in Delaware than every other state in the nation combined. I'm not anti-corporate, but corporate profits have doubled since the pandemic. Doubled. It's time things get back in order a little bit. It's time, for example, if I'm reelected, we're going to make sure that rents are kept at 5% increase of corporate rents for apartments and the like and homes are limited to 5%. We're going to make a lot of changes that I've been talking about because we're going to continue to grow this economy. And by the way, remember how I got so roundly criticized for being so pro-union, not labor, union. Well, guess what? I've been the most pro-union labor president in history. Not a joke. And guess what? We had the Treasury Department do a study. When unions do better, everybody does better. Everybody does better. And we talk about how, for example,
back up away
when
from
I
the
went,
mic when you talking
remember
to
when
me,
we
dog.
talked about getting the computer chip industry back in the United States? Used to be 40% of the industry. We invented the chip. 40% of the industry is in the United States. And former presidents decided that the best way to do it is find the cheapest labor in the world, send the product over there and import what the product was. And so what did I do? I was told not to go over to Europe, to Asia, including Europe, but Asia. And I remember going to South Korea, convincing them to invest $20 billion in the United States to build computer chip factories. And I asked why when they finally decided to do it. And the answer was because you have the safest economy in the world, and you have the best workers in the world. So the whole idea here is we've invested, there's over $50 billion in investment.
You right. You right. You ain't lying. We got the best labor workers out here. You know what I'm saying? You keep letting all these fucking migrants come in here and take our jobs. So you right. These motherfuckers working for minimum wage and don't even give a fuck because they don't even care because they ain't getting paid like that in their country anyway. They barely surviving over there. So yeah, of course we got the best work. These motherfuckers just working and shutting the fuck up. I got it. I get you. You know what I'm saying? You right. That's true. But at the expense of what? The American citizens that's already here. Oh, y'all, so you can't play ball with the American people that's here, and we can't look out for y'all, but we gonna put all these fucking migrants over here and we gonna give them a whole bunch of care packages and make sure they straight. They can come over here legally. Don't matter. We gonna give them every benefit that the American citizen can get. Yeah, man. And yeah, of course we got the best fucking workers over here because all the workers, labor workers, don't even come from here anyway. The fuck are you talking about? Thanks to you.
And computer chip manufacturing just coming into being. None of you thought that would happen. None of you thought that would happen. But it's happening. It's happening.
Bruh, please stop whispering in the fucking mic, bruh. Please. You already coughing in the mic and shit, spreading your corona germs and shit, bruh. Yeah, man. Stop whispering in the shit. You're not making. Somebody please bring some disinfectant up, please, cause this nigga Ray give me corona through the mic, bruh. The fuck, bruh? We can hear you. You don't need to keep leaning in and all that extra shit, bruh. Shut up and just talk.
It's going to grow economies. All through, and by the way, red states and blue states. Matter of fact, there's as much in red states as blue states. I've made no distinction. So my generic point is that the idea that we can't continue to build and grow the economy, make it fair. Like I said, from my standpoint, when the middle class does well, that's when the whole economy grows. The poor have a shot, the wealthy do well. The wealthy got to start paying their taxes.
As a follow-up, sir, you mentioned that
We gonna get you to your follow up. We gonna get to your follow up. Hold on 1 second, cause I gotta comment on that. I mean, he keep talking about this fucking middle class, bro. Did y'all not see the live when I showed y'all the middle where the middle class even started at in money bracket? Yo, the money bracket for middle class is considered damn 300 and something thousand. So we got people in here tonight. And let me ask y'all this. How, just a show of hands, how many of y'all make 300,000 a year? Just yeah, man, just show of hands. How many of y'all make 300,000 a year? That's middle class. So if you don't make 300,000 a year, he not even referring to you. Tax, he talking about we gonna tax the uppers and shit like that. It's about damn time you tax them. Shit, they need to be taxed. We y'all need to start taxing them motherfuckers more often and stop taxing fucking me. That's what it sound like. It sounds like motherfucker, you need to stop taxing my motherfucking checks and start taxing they checks. Cause I remember you saying, yeah, we ain't do no taxes for people who made 400,000. Bitch, I don't make 400,000, so that means you taxing me. Fuck them getting a tax break. Them niggas make 400 something thousand a year. Tax the fuck out of them. I don't make nowhere near that. Don't tax me, shit. The fuck? No cat B, no class. I'm underclass as a motherfucker, bro. Shit, what? The statistic says if you make 54 to 106, you're considered poor. Hey, don't believe me? Go back to the live, the Trump Biden debate, and go back to that, and to even further that, B sent me a video of some daggone lady. Yeah, I mean, I can't remember the lady name. B put it in the chat. Shouts out to her. She even covered it to go to even clarify what I was saying on the live. The average black person makes 37,000 a year. The average black person. That means you broke. That's what it said on the live when I said put the statistics up there. It said if you make under 37,000 every year, you're considered broke. And then it went from 37 to 54. You're considered very poor. And then 50 something to 106, you was fucking upper poor. The fuck, man. Y'all better stop playing. Y'all better stop playing. Shouts out to the real Dana channel. Shouts out to her because she covered it. You know what I'm saying? It like literally right after that. It was I put it out. We did our live, and then like the next day she came with her statistics. So we ain't lying. I ain't lying about this shit. The fuck, she even broke it down into further detail than what I did. I just brought it to y'all attention. She went into actual detail. So yeah, shouts out to her. But I'm saying, fuck taxing me. Y'all need to tax them other motherfuckers. Flat out. I need a motherfucking 10-year tax break. I need a 5-year tax break. Right, Evs? Am I lying, Evs? I need me a motherfucking 5 to 10 year tax break. Shit.
Your Vice President Kamala Harris would be ready to serve on day one. Can you elaborate on that? What is it about her attributes and her accomplishments over the last 4 years that make her ready to serve on day one if necessary?
First of all, the way she's handled the issue of freedom of women's bodies to have control over their bodies. Secondly, her ability to handle almost any issue on the board. This was a hell of a prosecutor. She was a first-rate person, and in the Senate, she was really good. I wouldn't have picked her unless I thought she was qualified to be president. From the very beginning, I made no bones about that. She is qualified to be president. That's why I picked her. Felicia Schwartz,
Oh crap.
Financial Times.
Thank you, Mr. President. Presidency is the most straining job in the world, and it's 24/7. How can you say you'll be up for that next year, in 2 years, in 4 years, given the limits you've acknowledged that you have today?
My fault, my fault. Yeah, he talking about some. He talking about some. Yeah, I wouldn't have picked her if I ain't know she was good for the position, for the job, and all that other. Bruh, ain't nobody try to hear that shit, bruh. You talking about the same? You talking about the same hoe that was with that singing nigga? What was that? Who that? Montel Jordan or some shit? What's that singing nigga, bruh? The sexy flexy dude with the bald head back in the day. You was singing all them songs and shit. One she is one of that nigga side pieces. You know what I mean? He came to the spot with her and the other talking about that bitch. Oh shit. Man. Let me go ahead and start this shit, bro.
The limits I've acknowledged I have.
There's been reporting that you've acknowledged that you need to go to bed earlier and your evening around 8.
That's not true. Look, what I said was, instead of my every day starting at 7 and going to bed.
My shouts out to my mama. Shouts out to my mama. She came through. Yeah, I know it was one. I know it was one of them M Jordans. I know it's several of them M Jordans out there. I know it was one of them. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, my mama know. Yeah, she caught your ass, Kamala. She was like, "Yeah, look at this girl out here." I already know, Shirley. You was probably shaking your head too. And then you seen her as vice president. It was like, oh no, that's her. Like, oh heck no, I remember that. I know that. Hey, shouts out to my mom. She came through in the clutch. Oh snap! Where my video go at? Hold up, hold up, hold up. Oh, here we go. Let's bring that back up.
At midnight, it'd be smarter for me to pace myself a little more. And I said, for example, the 8, 7, 6 stuff, instead of starting a fundraiser at 9 o'clock, start at 8 o'clock. People get to go home by 10 o'clock. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about. And if you look at my schedule since I made that stupid mistake in the campaign in the debate, I mean, my schedule has been full bore. I've done where's Trump been? Riding around in his golf cart, filling out his scorecard before he hits the ball. I mean, look, he's done virtually nothing. And I don't know how many.
Yeah, he done virtually nothing because for the past couple months now, you done motherfucker had this nigga locked up. He fighting trials and cases and shit. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck you mean? He of course he ain't have time to do no real prepping and shit, bro. You done had this man tied up. Hey yo, this nigga act like he wasn't just trying to beat a case. This nigga act like he wasn't just trying to beat a case, bro. The nigga like he didn't just get what's that extradited from Miami to New York to get locked up and get his mugshot and shit. Come on now, this nigga going through real world activities while you fucking at a black function just standing there looking fucking you like you dazed out and shit. Nigga, what the fuck you talking about? Trump more proactive than you. I gotta give him that. Shit. The fuck? This guy wildin', bro.
Many. I've gone home to roughly 20 major events, some with thousands of people showing up. And so I just think it's better. I always have an inclination, whether I was playing sports or doing politics, just to keep going, not stop. I just got to just pace myself a little more. Pace myself. In the next debate, I'm not going to be traveling in the 15 time zones a week before. Anyway, that's what it was about. That's what it was about. And by the way,
Nah, bruh, it's more than that, bruh. It's more than that, bruh. Like you don't need to be in office. You're not fit to be in office, bruh. Like I said, bruh, you're one cough away from breaking a rib, bruh. If you sneeze too hard, bruh, you might fucking your lung might collapse if you sneeze too hard, bruh. We see it. We see it in you. Bruh, B told me, bruh, I should have I gotta B remind me to get that clip. But B said when he left that debate with Trump, bruh, he walked back and his family, his wife had to come grab him and basically like escort him. And he was like, did I answer the questions right? Did I answer the questions on? Did I do like basically like did I do a good job today? Like come on, we know, bro. We know this guy need to be in a fucking senior citizen home somewhere, relax and retired, bro. He don't need to be like you said. He not gonna be traveling because he's not fucking fit to do all this traveling. We need a person who is fit to travel. Go hit these press conference with motherfucking Putin get out of line. Go talk to that nigga. Yeah, I mean, go over there. Not be scared to go to Russia and have a meeting with him. You know what I'm saying? With Kim get out of line, look, I hit this motherfucking button and send that little ass corner that you got in the motherfucking ocean somewhere. Like, bruh, we need people that's gonna be able to step down, not no old ass nigga that can't even get no words out, stumbling. Like I said, we just in the first couple of minutes, bro, we heard this fool called Kamala Harris, fucking Donald Trump. And way before the shit even started, we heard the nigga call Zelensky fucking Putin. Man, I restart this shit, bro.
even with that, I love my staff, but they add things all the time. Very end. I'm catching hell from my wife for that. Anyway, I'm sorry. Zeke Miller, Associated Press.
Thank you, Mr. President. Two questions for you. First, on the NATO summit, President Zelensky, in your meeting with him, he pressed you to lift your limitations on the Ukrainian use of American weapons, saying that in his public remarks afterwards, saying that Ukraine cannot win the war unless those limitations are lifted. Are you reconsidering your position on that? And then secondly, following up on Felicia's question there, leaders of your own party have said that they're not worried about that debate. They're worried about the next bad night and the bad night after that. How can you reassure the American people that you are up to the task and that there won't be more?
Yeah, you see how you try you see how he tried to pass the buck off just now? Like, yeah, no, that be my staff, bro. My staff just be adding shit in, bro. Like, I don't be that shit don't need. They be blowing shit out of proportion and shit, bro. Yeah, I mean, you really see what be going on? I be straight, bro. Like that be them just saying shit. Nah, fuck no, nigga. We be seeing the shit. We be seeing the shit. Nah. No, hell no. What? I'd rather the Uber car pull up with the autopilot shit and just drive me by itself. Like he can't drive me nowhere. He drive me crazy. That's the only thing he drive me is crazy, bro. Just listening to this motherfucker. Yeah, they can talk about they just be adding shit in. Nah, nigga, they don't just be adding shit in. Trump. I mean, Biden the wild boy, bro. Biden's a wild boy. I'm telling you.
Bad nights at a debate stage or somewhere else?
First thing about Zelensky asking for the ability to strike deep into Russia. We've allowed Zelensky to use American weapons in the near term, in the near or abroad, into Russia. Whether or not he should be attacked. For example, should Zelensky, he's not. If he had the capacity to strike Moscow, strike the Kremlin, would that make sense? It wouldn't. Question is, What's the best use of the weaponry he has, the weaponry we're getting to him? I've gotten him more I got him more long-range capacity, as well as defensive capacity. And so our military is where I'm following the advice of my commander-in-chief, the chief of staff.
See, I like how these people talk, bruh. Fuck, this motherfucker crazy. My fault. People texting me and shit. I like how this motherfucker talk, bruh. He talk like as if he's fitting to go over there and shoot some gun, bruh. I feel like if you're able to be a president, then you should be able to go into war as well. Now, if you're a president, lead your troop into war. Lead them into, bruh. Back in the day, bruh, the kings that actually went out there and fought alongside they men lived a long time and was able to like hold their land. The ones that didn't and just sent their groups out there to fight and they stayed back and just played with women and get fat and eat snacks and smoke cigars and shit, bruh. They didn't live that long, bruh. They didn't live that long. I feel like as if you're a president, lead your troops in the fucking war. Don't be all the way in your motherfucking safety bunker talking about some because I got people to come and all this. We're gonna do this and I'm gonna make sure this is gonna happen. And no, you're not making sure shit. You're sending people out there to go do that shit for you. No. You guys need to be out there too. That's how I feel. That's a president I'll fight for. If that motherfucker out there with me out there on that battlefield, shit, I'll fight for his ass. Hell yeah, shit. What? Don't nobody touch him. What?
Half of the military, as well as the Secretary of Defense and our intelligence people. And we're making a day-to-day basis on what they should and shouldn't go, how far they should go in. That's a logical thing to do. Second question related to
bad nights, sir. How can you reassure the American people that you won't have more bad nights, whether they be on a debate stage or it's a matter of foreign policy?
Well, I tell you what, the best way to assure them is the way I assure myself. And that is, am I getting the job done? Am I getting the job done? Can you name me somebody who's gotten more major piece of legislation passed in 3.5 years? I created 2,000 jobs just last week. So if I slow down, I can't get the job done. That's a sign that I shouldn't be doing it. But there's no indication of that yet. None. What I got here? Merrick, Pulaski Radio.
Thank you, Mr. President. How are you?
I'm well.
The elections in the US have consequences around the world. You have pretty high standing in Europe. I just asked President Macron about you, and he said we are happy to have him as the President of the United States. But there is a concern. Many people in Poland and across Europe are worried that the former president may win the election. And there's a lot of concern that Donald Trump may weaken NATO, stop supporting Ukraine, or push Ukraine to give up territories to Russia.
They're correct.
And yourself was warning just 2 minutes ago about it. So my question is, do you think that Europe will be left on its own if Donald Trump wins the election? And what's your advice to European leaders to prepare for possible US disengagement?
Well, look, I think, how can I say this without sounding too self-serving. I'm not having any of my European allies come up to me and say, Joe, don't run. What I hear them say is, you've got to win. You can't let this guy come forward. It'd be a disaster. It'd be a disaster. I mean, I think he said in one of his rallies, don't hold me to this recently, where NATO, I just learned about NATO or something to that effect. Foreign policy has never been his strong point. And he seems to have an affinity to people who are authoritarian. That worries, as I tell you, Poland, that worries Europe. That worries Poland. And nobody, including the people of Poland, think that if he wins in Ukraine, he's going to stop in Ukraine. That's going to be the end of it. And so what I can say is, I think I'm the best qualified person to do the job, to make sure that Ukraine does not fall, that Ukraine succeeds, that the European alliance stays strong. You may recall, no.
My question is, motherfucker, do we live in Ukraine? Because last time I checked, we live in America. You ain't worried about no American shit. None. Like, we need to worry about more what's over here than worry about what's over there. I mean, if Ukraine can't handle that shit on their own, and Ukraine can't stop Russia from taking their shit, that sound like a fucking personal problem to me, baby. That don't sound like my problem. Why the fuck do I gotta give out tax money to these motherfuckers to send over there to help them? That don't sound like a me thing. That sound like a them thing. Y'all figure that shit out. When motherfucking so-called the Twin Towers got attacked and all that shit, that Ukraine come back motherfuckers up and be like, yo, we gonna help y'all with, send y'all some funds and I mean help them people out and all that shit. When we go through fucking hurricanes and wildfires, does Iran or Ukraine or any of them motherfuckers that we got alliances with come over here and start fucking helping us? No. I know exactly what they do though. They send their people over here. The people come take all the money from the black neighborhoods and ship it out to their people, and then they go live luxurious lives and bring in their family members over here to take over the business. They don't even hire black people, and they build the shit in they communities and shit. So it's like fuck them. I ain't even gonna cap. You can feel some type of way if you want to. Fuck them. I got bigger shit to worry about over here. I got bigger shit to worry about over here. I don't live in fucking Ukraine. I don't give a fuck about what's going on over there. If they can't handle that shit with Russia on their own, that sound like a fucking personal problem. Cause it ain't a US problem. I know that.
No one was talking about Finland joining NATO. I remember talking to Putin right after we got elected in Geneva, and he was talking about what we
and it wouldn't even be a motherfucking US problem. US wouldn't even be on no motherfucking Russian motherfucking list and uh what they call that, public enemy #1 list, if motherfuckers wasn't all in the motherfuckers business. Like yeah, oh, NATO is one of them joints of ways though you gotta help out when if the time comes into play, you help out. But that that initial war shit don't have nothing to do with us. Nothing. This is so we are inserting ourselves by backing them. That's all, we're inserting ourselves into that shit. So leave my little brother alone. Shit. Sometimes your little brother gotta fight his own battles. Simple and plain. And we're getting taxed for that shit. All that shit's coming from us. Shit's wild.
should do. We couldn't be in Eastern Europe, etc. And I said, you're looking for the Finlandization of Ukraine, because you can get the NATOization of Finland. And about 4 weeks later, I got a call. Well, that's not true. Probably 5 months later, from the president of Finland, could he come and see me? In my office. And I invited him to the Oval Office. We sat down and talked. He said, "You want to join NATO? Could I help?" And I did. It wasn't automatic. And then I got a call from the Swedes. I beg your
Bruh, they had to stop you because they don't know what the fuck you talking about. You went on topic, bruh. We asked you one question. You talking about something else, bruh. You stick to the question, bruh.
pardon? And so Finland joined NATO. 800-mile border is a significant, and they're already allies, but they weren't part of NATO. And you heard, I think you heard, maybe I can't recall what he said in public in a closed meeting, but he wouldn't mind it being repeated. He said, "We decided in Finland, the people of Finland decided they had to be part of NATO. It was in our interest because of the joint ability to be together, to dissuade any attack on Finland." And the same thing with Sweden. It took a lot of selling to some folks, particularly in Turkey and other places, to agree to the expansion. But it expanded. And we're a hell of a lot stronger because of it. We're more secure because of it. And by the way, I was able to get 50 other nations, 50 to support Ukraine. 50. We're able to bring about.
That's what I'm saying, bruh. That's what I'm saying, bruh. What the fuck does that have to do with us, bruh? Who cares about over the fuck there, bruh? You got shit over here that we gotta worry about. Why the fuck is we worried about over there? You keep saying we're stronger. Last time I checked, US always been strong. So where the fuck? How are we stronger? It sounds like motherfucker we're trying to come to the aid of somebody else that's weak. That fuck that. That's their problem. The hell? What? So what happens? What happens if we do successfully, stop in and we go over there and yeah, man, what happens then? Like, are we just gonna all pack up? Yeah, America, we going over there and then we going. No, we still gonna be fucking right here. They should get blown to fucking bits and shit. Now my motherfucking gas price is going up to $5 a gallon now because I gotta send the money over fucking there to help them. He just said motherfucking tax breaks for middle class and shit, and middle class start at fucking 300 or something thousand. Man, as I said, these people, you gotta listen to these people when they talk, bro. They be giving away so much shit, giving away so much jewels and shit, bro. He concerned about over Ukraine. He not concerned about nobody in the U.S. I'm just letting you know that now. He just said, "Fuck y'all, U.S. citizens, bro. It's about Ukraine right now. So whatever y'all got going through, we ain't coming to help y'all."
A coalition of Europe and Asia, Japan and South Korea. We talked about AUKUS, and we talked about the relationship between Australia, New Zealand, Japan, South Korea, the United States. We're making the world safer and stronger because we have to deal with the new arrangement that exists in the world. The Cold War is over. The post-war era is over. What is going to replace it? And I respectfully suggest I have a pretty good idea what that should be. I'm convinced a lot of people will follow it. We're just going to get stronger. David Sanger. Where's it?
Thank you, Mr. President.
Be nice, David.
Mr. President, the NATO declaration that was issued yesterday was very notable because it described China as a decisive enabler of the war in Ukraine for its provision of critical goods to the Russians. That's part of a broader partnership that seems to have cemented in place in the past 2 or 3 years. I think one that you were a little bit doubtful of when we asked you about it some time ago.
They did. They gave the last time he had to do a solo conference like this, they gave him cards. They gave him cards, and the cards had the questions on there from the people that was gonna ask him. They said they're not gonna do that this time. They got a bounty on Biden's head for him to mess up, and whoever can stump him and give him the whoever can break him, basically whoever can break him, they gonna give him some, they gonna give him some money or something. They gonna do something for him, like they gonna make sure they go viral or some crazy stuff they was talking about. Like this could be one of their viral moments for these reporters that they can break them. So these reporters is coming in trying to mess Biden up for real. They trying to get him to mess up, and that's this why they didn't give him no notes or nothing. And these people, like, see, he got a list of people he could call on, but I don't think he knows what they're gonna ask until it's time.
So I'd be interested to know whether you have a strategy now of trying to interrupt the partnership between China and Russia, and whether or not in a second term you would pursue that, if you could describe that strategy to us. And along the way, could you also tell us whether you think, just to follow up on Felicia's question, that if you were in a room with Vladimir Putin again, the way you were 3 years ago, or with President Xi, that a few years from now you will be able to go negotiate with them, handle them one-on-one?
If he was in the office with Putin would probably body slam the shit out Joe Biden. Right? Putin would probably beat the shit out Joe Biden. No cat. No fuck Joe. Putin ain't trying to sit in no damn room with this guy. And you put them in the room, it's gonna be furniture moving, and Joe ain't gonna have no chance.
Well, the first part of the question is, we discussed and I raised in the NATO summit, and others raised, the future of China's involvement, what they're going to do, what they're doing with Russia in terms of accommodating, facilitating. They're getting access to additional. They're not supplying weapons themselves. They're supplying mechanisms for them to be able to get weapons. And China's position is basically, and I've spent more time with Xi Jinping than any world leader has, over 90 hours since being vice president all the way through, for real. And by the way, I handed all my notes. But my point is that
Facts.
Xi believes that China is a large enough market that they can entice any country, including European countries, to invest there in return for commitments from Europe to do A, B, C, or D, or not to do certain things.
I mean, shit. Even we right now still get stuff from damn China. So I would say China is a big factor on fucking producing shit that we need. So I don't think, I mean, necessarily losing them would be good. You know what I'm saying? Because if you go through your house right now, you just get to looking at made, I bet you a lot of that shit is gonna say made in China, made in Taiwan. Is you ain't gonna have, you gonna made in Mexico. Like you gonna have very little things that's made in USA. So good luck. Yeah, good luck with that one.
What's happened is we had a long discussion about what we cannot, you have to make clear, China has to understand that if they are supplying Russia with information and capacity, along with working with North Korea and others to help Russia in armament, that they're not going to benefit economically as a consequence of that by getting the kind of investment they're looking for. And so, for example, we're in a situation where and we've reestablished direct contact with China after that. Remember the balloon, quote unquote, going down? All of a sudden, things came to an end. Well, we set up a new mechanism. There's a direct line between Xi and me, and our military has direct access to one another, and they contact one another when we have problems. The issue is that you have to make sure that she understands there's a price to pay for undercutting both the Pacific Basin as well as Europe, and as relates to Russia and dealing with Ukraine. And so for example, if you want to invest in China, as you know this area really well. Trying to invest in China, you have to have a 51% Chinese owner. You have to make sure that you do by their rules. And you don't have the authority, and you have to provide all access to all the data and information you have. There was a while there, as you recall, the last administration and other administrations, where the access to that market was enticing enough to get companies to come in because they had access to over 1 billion people in a market, not 1 billion, but a lot of people in the market. And so they were doing it. But that got curtailed when we started saying we're going to play by the same rules. For example, the idea they don't abide by the international rules related to subsidizing products by the government funding. So guess what? They're not going to be able to export their electric vehicles to the United States without a significant tariff. Others are doing the same thing around the world. But it is a concern. It is a concern that you have both China, North Korea, Russia, Iran, countries that are not necessarily coordinated in the past, looking to figure out how they can have impact.
Interrupt that impact?
Yes, I do, but I'm not prepared to talk about the detail of it in public. And I think you'll see that some of our European friends are going to be curtailing their investment in Russia. In China, as long as China continues to have this indirect help to Russia in terms of being able to help their economy as well as help them in as a consequence of that their ability to fight in Ukraine.
See, and that's the thing, bro. Like, again, we are inserting ourselves in something that doesn't have nothing to do. Like, all this stuff that's going on could be easily squashed and settled. The only reason why shit is going the way it's going is because of this guy right here, and his lack of ability to show strength. The reason why these motherfuckers doing what they doing is because they do not fear this guy. They have no reason to. He never gave them any reason to have any concern to think that if they kick off some shit, he's gonna do something about it. That's the problem. You see what I'm saying? And that was the difference. And see, now I know you don't like to hear that shit, but that's the difference between having Trump in office and having Biden in office. Motherfuckers wasn't playing with Trump like that. They knew Trump didn't had the right sense he was given. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was it was times I was questioning this motherfucker's, yeah, I mean, mental capacity. But I see like if you wanna have some respect, that means sometimes you gotta let your nuts hang. You know what I'm saying? So obviously this motherfucker castrated, he ain't got no nuts. Cause he ain't standing on none of his shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we just gonna keep throwing the money over there. We gonna, don't worry, we just gonna keep it. Nah, fuck that. Handle that shit. until U.S. motherfucking soldier over that motherfucker dies, get blown up or kidnapped or some shit, nigga, my hands ain't got nothing to do with that. Until U.S. is actually drawn into that shit. That's how it should have went, But again, he's man say. Yeah, once he fell off that bike, yeah, he keep falling and falling down the steps, falling up the steps. How you fall going up the steps, bro? You got guardrails right there. Hold on to the rails and go up. Like, man, shit crazy, bro.
The other thing that we talked a lot about is that, and I raised it, and I didn't hear any. I can't swear that everyone agreed because not everyone got to talk about it. But we need a new industrial policy in the West. For example, we talked about how both the EU as well as NATO has to be able to begin to build their own munition capacity, has to be able to generate their own capacity to provide for weapons and the ability to, it came as a surprise to some of us how we had fallen behind in the West in terms of the ability to construct new material, new weaponry, new everything from vehicles to weapon systems. And so one of the things that came out of this was we're going to be meeting again with a number of my colleagues, my European colleagues, is what do we do to increase the capacity of the West, particularly in Europe and Japan, to be able to generate kind of ability to produce their own weapon systems, not just for themselves, but to be able to generate that. It's the same. That's what Russia's trying to figure out. That they went to China, and they didn't get the weapons, but then they went to North Korea. But we're going to be in a position where the West is going to become the industrial base for it to be able the ability to have all the defensive weapons that we need.
Come on now, get it out.
I'm not sure you answered on whether you would be ready to go deal with Putin and Xi 2 or 3 years from now.
I'm ready to deal with them now and 3 years from now. Look,
That's what I'm saying, bro. These motherfuckers be talking about, yeah, I'm ready to deal with them now, bruh. why do numerous of people have to go out over in another country, die, lose their life, come back, fucking PTSD, all messed up in the mental and shit, lost limbs, where you over here talking about you're ready to deal with them now? Go deal with that nigga then. Go, please, go. You go deal with them. Don't send. Yeah, I mean, none of these good army soldiers that we got over here. Don't take them away from their loved ones and their family members and their kids and shit like that. Send them over there on a crash course to fucking die. Where you over here talking about, so I'm ready to take care of them now, like as if you're fitting to do some shit. I mean, when the president is talking like I'm finna take care of somebody, I'm finna go do that, then this motherfucker need to be on the front line. He need when that motherfucking deployment shit come through, motherfucker, he need to be out there too. Then you see what I'm saying? He need to go put his boots on and march in there, motherfucking shoot some guns too. You see what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Don't keep sending all these good soldiers that we got over here. If we keep sending all these soldiers over there to die, who the fuck gonna be over here protecting us? But y'all over here talking about so we can't have certain kind of ammo. We can't have a certain kind of stock on our AR. We can't have motherfucking more than 10 round magazines. You see what I'm saying? We gotta go through ATF for fucking 6 months. Wait 6 months to get a fucking suppressor. You see what I'm saying? We can't have 100 round magazines. Damn, we can't have binary triggers. Fuck. What else? We can't have a bump stock. What else? Shit, fucking, we can't even have a switch on the Glock without getting fucking years. You see what I'm saying? But y'all sending all our fucking troops out there to go fucking in a war that doesn't benefit nobody over here. Y'all sending all our defense out though. That don't make no fucking sense, bro. You take your ass out there. You got Secret Service and shit and all that. You got the motherfucking the ability to martial law and all that, get the fucking military and all that shit. Well, fuck that. Step your ass up and go out there and fight. Don't keep sending motherfucking the nigga down the street that motherfucker can protect us.
Like I said, I'm dealing with Xi right now and direct contact with him. I have no good reason to talk to Putin right now. There's not much that he is prepared to do in terms of accommodating any change in his behavior. And but there isn't any world leader I'm not prepared to deal with. But I understand the generic point is Putin ready to talk? I'm not ready to talk to Putin unless Putin's ready to change his behavior. And the idea, look,
Who the fuck you think you is? Who the fuck you think you is, bruh? This nigga said, Putin ready to talk, but I'm not ready to talk to Putin. Like, bruh, yeah, you scared to go talk to that man. Just say that. Just say you scared to go talk to that man. You know what I'm saying? It's until he get his behavior under control. Like, what the fuck? That man's a grown ass man, bro. If I think my country is gonna be strong, this is a good dictator right here. If I think my country is gonna be strong with that land, and y'all not fucking producing shit on that land, and we gotta send y'all care packages here and there. Fuck that nigga. That shit might as well be mine. Yeah, man, fuck that. Man, shit, that's how I would have did it. I'd have did the same thing. I don't blame Putin. Shit, Putin trying to make Russia stronger. In his eyes, he trying to make Russia stronger. And if he take that shit, guess what? That makes Russia stronger. So the fuck, the hell you talk about if he get his behavior together? Man, that man see the bigger picture. Something that I said a long time. I said, what? Shit. All these motherfucking Mexican migrants and motherfuckers coming over here. Shit. Yeah. All right. Don't even worry about that. Yeah, I mean, I'd have just took over Mexico. Fuck it. Y'all want to be over here. Y'all want to be U.S. Y'all want to be U.S. so bad. Shit. I'll turn the whole Mexico into U.S. then. And then now I what? That's throw, Chop. Nah, Chop, you can't do that. You try to start wars and shit. Nah, I ain't trying to start wars. These motherfuckers coming over here stealing all, stealing our money. They come over taking our jobs. They come over here, yeah, man. They peddling drugs. Yeah, man, shit, fuck it. They already a part of us. I might as well just go down there and take that shit over and make it U.S. for real then. That's what Russia doing. Yeah, I mean shit. These motherfuckers coming up in here, they chilling, they coming over to living, sending money back over there. Nah, fuck that. Nah. Y'all wanna be over here, we gonna make that shit Russia. That's a real leadership right there. You know what the fuck this guy talking about.
Putin's got a problem. First of all, in this war that he is supposedly have won. And by the way, I think, don't hold me to the exact number, but I think Russia had 17.3% of Ukraine that they've conquered. Now it's 17.4. I mean, in terms of percentage of territory. They've not been very successful. They've caused horrible damage, loss of life, but they've also lost over 350,000 troops, military, killed or wounded. They have over 1 million people, particularly young people with technical capability, leaving Russia because they see no future there. They've got a problem. But what they do have control of is they are very good at controlling and running the public outcry that relates to how they use mechanisms to communicate with people. They lie like hell to the constituencies. They lie like hell about what's going on. And so the idea that we're going to be able to fundamentally change Russia in the near term is not likely. But one thing for certain, if we allow Russia to succeed in Ukraine, we're not stopping in Ukraine. I recommend, I know you know this because you've written about it, read Putin's speech after they moved in, what it was all about in Kyiv. It wasn't about just, anyway, read what his objective is. And anyway, but so I think that I'm prepared to talk to any leader who wants to talk, including if Putin called me and wanted to talk. Last time I talked to Putin was trying to get him to work on an arms control agreement related to nuclear weapons in space. That didn't go very far. So my point is, I'm prepared to talk to anybody, but I don't see any inclination. There is an inclination on the part of the Chinese to keep in contact with me because they're not sure where this all goes. And look what's happened in Asia. We have strengthened the Asian Pacific area more than anyone else has. We just put together with today, I asked our NATO allies that we bring on the group from the South Pacific, Australia, New Zealand, Japan, Australia. I already mentioned Australia. And I met twice now, I think, with the 14 leaders of the Pacific Island nations. And we've slowed down what's going on there. We've slowed down China's reach. But there's a lot of work to do. This is a moving target, and I don't take it lightly. Sam from NPR.
Thank you, Mr. President. Asma Khalid with NPR. I have two questions. Earlier, you spoke about the ceasefire plan between Israel and Hamas. We're now looking at 10 months of war, and I'm curious if there's anything that you feel personally you wish you would have done differently over the course of the war. And then secondly, if I may, I wanted to ask you about your presidential campaign. I remember covering your campaign in 2020.
You gotta do one question at a time, lady. This ain't the normal president that you could just ask back to back questions like that. You had to do one question, let them answer it. And hold on, I got to follow up, and then you answer. You can't bombard him like that. He ready be another 10 minutes talking about statistics that nobody gives shit about. He ready dance around your question. One question at a time, lady.
And there was a moment where you referred to yourself as a, quote, bridge candidacy, a transition to a younger generation of leaders. I want to understand what changed.
Two things. Let's go back to when you talked about would I have changed anything that's happening with Israel and the Palestinians and the Palestinian movement. The answer is, as you recall, from the very beginning, I went to Israel, but I also got immediate contact with al-Sisi in Egypt. I met with the King of Jordan. I met with most of the Arab leaders to try to get a consensus going as to what had to be done to deal with getting more aid and food and medicine into the Gaza Strip. And we pushed it really hard. And Israel occasionally was less than cooperative, number one. The Israeli War Cabinet, I've been dealing with Israel since Golda Meir. I saw some of the reporters around here come here all the time and heard me say this. The first time I met with Golda Meir, I sat across from her at her desk, and her assistant was Rabin sitting next to me. That's how far back I go. I know Israel well, and I support Israel. But this war cabinet is one of the most conservative war cabinets in the history of Israel. And there's no ultimate answer other than a two-state solution here. And so what was able to be done in terms of the plan I put together was it would be a process for a two-state solution. And we get the Arab nations to, particularly from Egypt to all the way to Saudi Arabia, to be in a position where they would cooperate in the transition so that they could keep the peace in Gaza without without Israeli forces staying in Gaza. The question has been from the beginning, what's the day after in Gaza? And the day after in Gaza has to be, the end of the day after has to be no occupation by Israel on the Gaza Strip, as well as the ability for us to access, get in and out as rapidly as you can, all that's needed there. I've been disappointed that some of the things that I've put forward have not succeeded as well, like the port we attached from Cyprus. I was hopeful that would be more successful. But that's why when I went to Israel immediately after the massacres that occurred at the hands of Hamas, the one thing I said to the Israelis, and I met with the War Cabinet and with Bibi, don't make the same mistake America made after bin Laden. There's no need to occupy anywhere. Go after the people who did the job. You may recall, I still get criticized for it, but I was totally opposed to the occupation and trying to unite Afghanistan. Once we got bin Laden, we should have moved on because it was not no one's ever going to unite that country. I've been over every inch of that, not every inch, the entirety from the poppy fields all the way to the north. I said, don't make the same mistake we made. Don't think that's what you should be doing, is doubling down. We'll help you find the bad guys, Sinwar and company. And all this criticism about I wouldn't provide when the weapons they needed. I'm not providing them 2,000-pound bombs. They cannot be used in Gaza or any populated area without causing great human tragedy and damage. But remember what happened when you had the attack on Israel with rockets and ballistic missiles. I was able to unite the Arab nations as well as Europe, and nothing happened. Nothing got hurt. It sent an incredible lesson to what was going on from the Middle East. So there's a lot of things, in retrospect, I wish I had been able to convince the Israelis to do. But the bottom line is we have a chance now. It's time to end this war. Doesn't mean walk away from going after Sinwar and Hamas. And if you notice, you know better than most, there is a growing dissatisfaction on the West Bank from the Palestinians about Hamas. Hamas is not popular now. And so there's a lot of moving parts. I just have to keep moving to make sure that we get as much done as we can toward a ceasefire, and get those. And by the way, look at the numbers in Israel. I mean, my numbers are better in Israel than they are here. But then again, they're better than a lot of other people here too. But anyway,
He said, my numbers is better than Israel than they is here. I bet they is. I bet they is. You keep sending all this motherfucking shit out there. Fucking guy, man.
Candidacy in 2020, you referred to yourself as being a bridge candidate for a younger, fresher generation of Democratic leaders. And I wanted to know what changed.
What changed was the gravity of the situation I inherited in terms of the economy, our foreign policy, and domestic division. And I think, I won't put words in anybody's mouth. Most presidential historians give me credit for having accomplished more than most any president since Johnson and maybe before that, get major pieces of legislation passed. And what I realized was my long time in the Senate.
Shout out Zay in the building. On my way home. Okay. Yeah, be safe getting there. Take your time getting there. Yeah, don't rush. We ain't going nowhere, and the playback will always be there. So yeah, don't even trip.
And equipped me to have the wisdom on how to deal with the Congress to get things done. We got more major legislation passed that no one thought would happen. And I want to finish it, to get that finished. If tomorrow, if we had a circumstance where there was a lineup, and I hadn't inherited what I did, and we just moved things along. Anyway, it's going to change.
Last question.
Right, my man. My man ain't even answered no question just now, bruh. He ain't answered no question. She wants to know. She thought she was gonna be the pillar for a younger generation of Democrats to come in and take your spot, bro. That's what she want to know. She don't want to know nothing else about none of the other shit you was just taught. She want to know what changed from you being the pillar for the younger generation. Well, we all know why. Yeah, man, to say, well, my son smoked crack, so it was kind of hard to pass it down to him. So I got to come up with a new protege. Got to find me a new protege to go ahead and do it. So just say that, bro. Like, just don't beat around the bush. Just say, like, look, things have changed. Things have changed. That's not my mission right now. My mission is this over here. I ain't got time to worry about no younger people coming in taking my spot. That's just keep it a buck, bro. Keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? Shit. Right. Thank you, Ma. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. His mindset has changed. Exactly. His mindset has changed. Again, we don't even know if this guy is even coherent enough to understand what is even going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can see with the questions and the answers, he's everywhere with it. It's just something that, yeah, something the people we gonna have to do better in electing these motherfuckers. And that goes to even saying, like, look, we ain't voting this year because till y'all give us somebody suitable, we not voting. Yeah, I mean, I bet you they put somebody in place then that's suitable. Like, as long as we entertain this motherfucker here, he still got a chance. Yeah, his favorite, or the idea of, and shouts out to B, because B caught that in the debate. I mean, the idea of, anyway, and those are his favorite words where he can't answer the question and he's trying to get past the question. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, anyway, but like, yeah, bro, just what tell you. That boy dodged more bullets than Neo in the Matrix. I'm trying to tell you.
Haley Bull, Scripps. Or no, Josh Weingrove. I'm sorry. Was the next one. I'll do two more questions.
Thank you, Mr. President. Many of your colleagues, Democrats in the Hill, are watching tonight as they assess what they want to say about your candidacy. I'm wondering how you're thinking of this right now. It seems like your answer is clear, but they're watching how things go tonight, tomorrow in Michigan, next week in Texas and Nevada. Are you thinking that way about how the next week or two goes would inform you?
Am I using that way?
Are you thinking that way about how the next 2 weeks go? Will that affect your decision, or are you fully determined on running in November as the party's nominee?
I'm determined on running, but I think it's important that I allay fears by let them see me out there. Let me see them out. For the longest time it was, Biden's not prepared to sit with us unscripted. Biden's not prepared to, anyway. And so what I'm doing is what I've been doing. I think we've done over 20 major events from Wisconsin to North Carolina to demonstrate that I'm going out in the areas where we think we can win, where we can persuade people to move our way, or people are already there. Yeah, look, the other thing is we have the most extensive campaign organization of anybody's had in a long, long time. We have well over 1,000 volunteers.
Yeah, Zay. Yeah, people still voting for this guy, bruh. After that debate, bruh, uh the bubble debate, bruh, shit, Biden numbers went up. Biden numbers went up, so they kind of like Trump is sitting at like 49% and Biden is sitting at 46% or something like that. So the numbers is like they kind of like neck and neck for real. It's yeah, that's the same thing I said. Motherfuckers still voting for this thing, bro. I would have thought after the debate, bro, it would have been like 50 to like 30 something. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. But nah, shit, people ain't rocking with Trump either. So yeah, their numbers is neck and neck. It's wild.
Years, knocking on doors, making phone calls, making tens of thousands of phone calls. We have headquarters. I forget exactly how many. I want to cite a number and then find out I'm off. But we have scores of headquarters in all the toss-up states. We're organized. We're moving, and that's awful hard to replace in the near term. And so, and here's the other thing. I was in the Senate a long time. Very proud of what I've done in the Senate. I was chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee for a long time, and I was chairman or ranking member and chairman of the Judiciary Committee. I'm going to be going down to the Johnson Library anyway. I'm going to be
Anyway,
going down, making the case of the things that I think we have to finish,
no,
and how we can't afford to lose what we've done or backslide on civil rights, civil liberties, women's rights. There's that little button we have. Control guns, not girls. I mean, the idea we're sitting around.
whoa, 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 whoa. You're not just gonna come at us gun owners like that, talking about control guns, not girls and shit, bro. What gun owner? What the fuck we gotta do with anything, bro? You need me. You need me, bro. You sending all your troops over in fucking Iran and Ukraine to go fight and shit, nigga. You need me. Fuck is you talking about? Man, stop, man. Where Putin at? Hey, Putin, judo flip this motherfucker one time for me, bro. Because this nigga coming at, go keep on coming at us gun owners like, yeah, I mean, like, we're not gonna be the ones that motherfucking hold down this country. Yeah, I mean, when shit get to popping off. Like, come on, man. Control guns, not girl. Yeah, what the fuck is wrong with this guy, B? What's wrong with this guy, bro? The fuck? That shit wild, bruh.
And that's where Kamala's so good as well. We're sitting around. More children are killed by a bullet than any other cause of death. The United States of America. What the hell are we doing? What are we doing? We got a candidate saying, promised the NRA, don't worry, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to do anything. We got a Supreme Court that is what you might call the most conservative court in American history.
No cap. No cap. No cap, Zay. Yeah, I mean, like, people people act like yeah, I mean, Trump is just so bad. You know what I'm saying? And I was talking to Theo about that Hitler shit. You know what I'm saying? And it kinda I ain't because we've been having a good live. I'm not gonna touch on that. I'm gonna save that topic for a different live because I don't want them to cut this one. Yeah, I mean, but we gonna talk about that shit. We gonna talk about that shit. Yeah, that's that. I'm gonna start in that message. Yeah, I mean, say because we gonna talk. We gonna touch on that topic. Yeah, heck yeah. Wolf in sheep clothing, bruh. Real talk. A real wolf in sheep clothing, bruh. Anytime the motherfucker tell you can't, yo, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. How the fuck you gonna tell me, yeah, me what's black and what's not? If the only person in the Biden family that can say, hey, 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 hold on. My fault, my fault. Daggone kids come out here acting all crazy. But anybody can say anything about being black, and the closest motherfucker can say anything about black is fucking Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden a real nigga. No lie, Hunter Biden a real nigga. I see the nigga sniffing coke off somebody's ass cheek. It don't get no realer than that. This nigga chopping up coke with credit cards. That nigga was smoking big glass dicks inside the motherfucking camera. If y'all don't know what that is, that's a crack pipe. Yeah, I mean, some people that been in the trenches, y'all know. Yeah, I mean, but yeah, he the only one that can motherfucking even say anything about being black. That's a real nigga. That nigga had scales. He had the shit on the scale. Yeah, I mean, shit, they partying. Yeah, he can't speak on that. Yeah, I mean, you get Hunter up here and say some shit like that. Yeah, I mean, but nah, Joe, you ain't got the right.
This is ridiculous. There's so much we can do still. And I'm determined to get it done. It's about freedom. And by the way, I'll end this. Well, not going to do that. Haley has to come up too. But the I remember I made a speech on democracy in Philadelphia at Independence Hall. And I'm not being critical, just observing. The bulk of the press, what the hell is he talking about that for? Democracy. You did. Democracy is not an issue. Democracy is not an issue. Except the polling data showed 60% of the people knew I was right, thought I was right. I'm not asking you a question. You don't have to answer, obviously. But do you think our democracy is under siege based on this court? Do you think democracy is under siege based on Project 2025? Do you think he means what he says when he says he's going to do away with the civil service, eliminate the Department of Education, make sure? I mean, we've never been here before. And that's the other reason why I didn't, you say, hand off to another generation. I've got to finish this job. I've got to finish this job because there's so much at stake.
You've had some discussions over the past few days.
Yo, don't get no gangster than Biden, bro. Hunter Biden, bro. Nigga, they got Hunter Biden motherfucking sniffing coke, nigga coke on camera in the White House. Nigga, bro, man, hey, bro. Shout out Hunter Biden, bro. You the only Biden I really fuck with over there, bro, cause you a real nigga, bro. Hey, bro, but you see my man Diddy bop through that motherfucker, slide through between somebody, hit my shit real quick, come back out, nigga, I'm a smooth operator, nigga, I'm Diddy bopping through. What? Hey, yo, yeah, man, say, he definitely got more stain on the streets than Joe. He definitely got more stain on the streets than Joe. Hell yeah. That shit crazy. Oh shit. Let me get back up here. There we go.
Days with your press secretary about the question of health exams. And you said you take a cognitive test every day in this job. Are you open to taking another physical or test before the election? Governor Whitmer of Michigan, for instance, said it wouldn't hurt to take a test.
Well, look.
No, hell yeah. That is the best question that's been asked all night. Bruh, we need you to take. I feel like that. I feel like if you can't pass a basic physical and you're not physically fit enough, you should not motherfucking be up there, bruh. You should not be no president, bruh. Hey, there's one thing I can say about Obama, nigga. Obama ain't play. And motherfucker, you go in there talking some crazy stuff to Obama. Obama put his foot down on your ass real quick. Yeah, I mean, man. He need a physical. Yeah, we need to make sure he's physically fit to run office, and he can't. If he's not physically fit, I can't have him as president. Yeah, I mean that's how we should do a lot of presidents like that, brother. All these old ass motherfuckers coming out 80 years old wanting to sign up for presidents and shit. Nah, bruh. Bruh. If you can't go up and down 5 times a flight of steps without being winded or falling or tripping or shit like that, then yeah, yeah, man, say these motherfuckers definitely need to go through a physical check first.
Two things. One, I've taken 3 significant and intense neurological exams by a neurologist. In each case, as recently as February. And they say I'm in good shape. Okay? Although I do have a little problem with my left foot because it's not as sensitive because I broke my foot and didn't wear the boot. But I'm good. I'm tested every single day about my neurological capacity, the decisions I make every day. You talk to my staff, all of you talk to my staff. Sometimes my staff talks a lot. But the fact of the matter is, I don't think you have them telling you that all the major ideas we've undertaken haven't been in part initiated by me. I remember when the staff and I said, I'm going to go to South Korea. We're going to get the chip. What are you doing? I'm going to get Japan and Korea back together again after essentially having hostilities toward one another since the end of World War II. I'm going to move and see that we can expand it. You know, the only thing age does is help you with it, creates a little bit of wisdom if you pay attention. And so the point I'm making is, I think it's important that if the neurologist tells me he thinks I need another exam, and by the way, I've laid every bit of the record out. Hadn't hidden a thing. You ought to ask Trump for his, okay? I laid it all out. And every single day, I'm surrounded by good docs. If they think there's a problem, I promise you, or even if they don't think it's a problem, they think I should have a neurological exam again, I'll do it. No one's suggesting that to me now. And I'll ask you another question. No matter what I did, no one's going to be satisfied. Did you have 7 docs? Did you have 2? Who'd you have? Did you do this? How many times did you? So I am not opposed if my doctors tell me I should have another neurological exam, I'll do it. But that's where I am. Haley Bull, Scripps.
Thank you, Mr. President. You said you're making decisions on a day-to-day basis when it comes to support for Ukraine. Does that mean you have not closed the door on further considering lifting restrictions for U.S.-made weapons inside Russia? And if I may, your convention is coming up where your delegates are pledged to make you the official nominee. If they have second thoughts, are they free to vote their conscience?
Obviously, they're free to do whatever they want, but I got overwhelming support. Overwhelming support. I won, I forget how many votes I won in the primary. Overwhelming. And so tomorrow, if all of a sudden I show up at the convention, everybody says, we want somebody else, that's the democratic process. It's not going to happen.
Even if that means they vote for someone else?
Sure. Look, I'll end this with this. I served in the Senate a long time. I understand the impetus of candidates running for local office and whether they think the topic can help them or not. In my state of Delaware, which was a very, at least it was a red state when I started. in terms of we now talk red and blue.
This mother, this motherfucker said that was a purple state. All right, I get it. I get it. It was half red, half blue. I guess that's what you try to say. It was, it was a mixture. Ah, this guy is funny, bro. Nigga was ready to say it was a purple state.
Um, I I don't recall most of the Democratic presidents winning my state when I was a candidate. The truth of the matter is, I understand the self-interest of every candidate. If they think that, you know, running with Biden at the top is going to hurt them, then they're going to run away. I get it. But so
Yeah, he tried. He tried to slide it in there, B. Didn't he? He tried to slide it. He thought I wasn't gonna catch it. Bro. Look. See, reason why I catch the most subtlest shit like that is because I used to train myself to actually write down rap lyrics and listen to rap lyrics and study rap lyrics. So like even my wife says, "Bruh, the amount of music you got stored in your brain is ridiculous." And it comes from learning how to study music and learning how to listen to music and break down music and shit like that. So he thought, so for the average person, that shit would have went over their head. They wouldn't have caught it. But me, I trained my mind to listen to shit like that. So yeah, that's why I caught it. Shit's crazy. He tried. That motherfucker tried to slide that bitch through. Nah, bro. We on your bumper tonight.
far, go and look at the polling data in their states. Look at the in-depth, and by the way, I think you'd all acknowledge, and you're all experts. I'm not being solicitous about the president. You're experts on this stuff. How accurate does anybody think the polls are these days? I can give a series of polls where you have likely voters, me versus Trump, where I win all the time. When the unlikely voters vote, he wins sometimes. The bottom line is all the polling data right now, which I think is premature because the campaign really hasn't even started. I mean, it hadn't started in earnest yet. Most of the time, it doesn't start till after September, after Labor Day. So a lot can happen.
That part right there might be the realest shit he ever said. That part right there, I'd have heard him talk and say a lot of shit, but that might be the realest shit he said. You know what I'm saying? The polls always got time to fluctuate, to change. The shit ain't even, like you said, ain't even fully get started yet. You know, people is still coming up with their own conclusions on who they want to go with and shit. So shit can change drastically overnight for real. So that's probably like the realest shit he ever said.
But I think I'm the best I believe I'm the best qualified to govern.
There you go. There you go. Don't say you don't. I'm glad you corrected that because I had my finger on the motherfucking pause. That shit was hovering over the pause like a motherfucker. Well, I'm glad you corrected yourself. Yeah, you believe that you the best. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I can accept that. I can accept long as you believe that because we don't believe you. You need more people.
And I think I'm the best qualified to win. But there are other people who could beat Trump too. But it's awful start from scratch. And we talk about money raised. We're not doing bad. We got about $220 million in the bank. We're doing well. So with that, you have any want to follow up on any of that? You just asked me.
Yeah, what bank are you talking about? Because nigga, I keep saying all these banks going the fuck out of business and closing and motherfuckers talking about they ain't got people money and shit. So what bank do you got? I mean, can I bank with you since your bank is still active? Cause shit, my bank damn near ready to close down too. Shit. The fuck you nigga talking about? We still got money in the bank. The money in the bank when all the banks is closing down. This shit crazy. This guy out of here.
Yes. Um, you earlier explained confidence in your vice president.
Yes.
If your team came back and showed you data that she would fare better against former President Donald Trump, would you reconsider your decision to stay in the race?
No, unless they came back and said, there's no way you can win. Me. No one's saying that. No poll says that. Okay.
Bruh, stop whispering in the fucking mic, bruh. Motherfucker, oh, steak breath ass nigga, stop whispering in the mic, bro. You can say that shit regular, bruh. And trust me, everybody is saying get you the fuck out of it. Every time I go on YouTube, bruh, and it just be some random shit I'll be going through, and they'll be doing lives talking about how they want to impeach Joe Biden and shit. Motherfucker, they ain't talking about impeaching your dumb ass for nothing. Like, what the fuck? Like, motherfucker, everybody thinks you're unfit. That's why you keep running across these questions like, nigga, are you unfit? Nigga, are you gonna take a fucking physical? Like, come on, man. Yeah, the motherfucking overseas joints. Hell yeah, the motherfucking Cayman Island bacon. Yeah, you damn right, B. Hell yeah. Shit, everybody, man. At this point in time, shit, motherfuckers is thinking about putting Kamala in that motherfucker. Shit, let her run it. At least she motherfucker can talk and we can understand what the fuck she's saying. Motherfucker, you barely can say basic fucking words, and then you get the start up over the. Anyway, we just gonna go ahead to the next shit. Like, bruh, nah, man, fuck that. We need to hear what the fuck you had to say. Right, right. That, hey, B. I'm telling you, bro. This nigga keep whispering in the mic, bro. Stop whispering. Yeah, it's gonna fucking pass out. Keep straightening your voice like that. Shit, wow.
This ends tonight's press conference. Thanks, everybody. This concludes.
Earlier, you misspoke in your opening answer. You referred to Vice President Harris as Vice President Trump.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Somebody called it. I thought, bruh. I'm glad this reporter. I'm glad this reporter had his time to shine, bruh. I'm glad you had your time to shine, bruh. Thank you. This motherfucker, bruh. Thank you, bruh. Nobody questioned that. Like, nobody questioned that, bro. Nobody asked, like, bro, how the fuck did you manage to call Kamala Harris Trump, bro, and say that Kamala Harris, well, your vice president was Trump? How the fuck did you manage that, bro? Like, thank you, bro. I'm glad somebody's paying the fucking attention.
Right now, Donald Trump is using that to mock your age and your memory. How do you combat that criticism from tonight?
Listen to him.
This concludes tonight's press conference. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, everyone.
The nigga said, listen to him. Hey, get this nigga out of here, bro.
One more extraordinary moment in this presidential campaign, and we say this often, and we can't overstate it, that every day in the spotlight is another critical test for President Biden in this election, having given the debate performance that he did that was so highly criticized afterwards, the moments during that debate. Obviously, a lot of criticism for the former President Donald Trump in that debate as well, but it's the president who must now make the case before the American people and in front of fellow Democrats that he is the best person to be the nominee for their party moving forward. He took questions from 10 reporters there, about 55 minutes or so, also gave comments right at the top. This was wide ranging. He talked about the success of the NATO summit this week, inflation numbers coming down just today, the economy, how many jobs he's created, manufacturing jobs, microchips. He talked about China. He talked about Russia. Israel, the Gaza war, of course, the war in Ukraine, the situation with Vladimir Putin. Took a number of questions. He was asked about himself, and he did acknowledge the debate performance, calling it a mistake. I don't know whether he was talking about the debate as a whole or one particular moment or a couple, but he did use that word in describing the highly critiqued debate, that first debate that the White House, President Biden had asked for earlier in the cycle than ever before in modern politics. He talked about the debate. He talked about the debate that's coming up in September, the next debate scheduled to be here on ABC. He gave an indication he has every plan to be there and to debate former President Donald Trump again. He was also asked about Vice President Kamala Harris a number.
Hey, y'all go ahead, comment, y'all want motherfuckers to cover that shit, bro. Y'all want to see that shit, bro. Let me know. Let me know. I think you said September, the next one gonna be. So yeah, let me know and see what we can do.
Number of times. He was asked if the situation changes, is she ready to be president on day one? He was unequivocal on that every time he was asked, at one point saying, look at her, what she has said about freedom of women's bodies, the message she has been delivering across this country this election cycle. He said any issue to come across the table for her, that she was a first-rate prosecutor, senator, and that she is ready to be president. He said otherwise he would not have selected her 4 years ago in the first place. Let's get right to Mary Bruce, our chief White House correspondent. Mary, what's first reaction from your source?
Cat, motherfucker. We know why you went and got Kamala Harris. Not only because she's on your side, motherfucking. That's another topic, and we ain't gonna touch that. But not only does she be with y'all, but that was the best look for you in order to become a president anyway. Had you not went and got Kamala Harris and you'd have got some random ass white girl to be your motherfucking vice president, motherfucker, you wouldn't have got that shit. Like, look at, you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Look, I'm with Obama. I'm rocking with Obama. Obama, motherfucker, he stabbed me. He invited me to his barbecue. He said I was black enough to come to the barbecue. You know what I mean? Shit, you see, I got Kamala Harris. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I fuck with the black people. No, you don't vote for me. You ain't black though. Man, fuck out of here, nigga. We know why the fuck you went and got that bitch. It ain't because she was good at her fucking job. No, the fuck out of here. What she was a fucking what, prosecutor or some shit, putting niggas in jail and shit. Why she want she? I see why y'all get along. Wasn't she one of them motherfuckers that was putting niggas in jail in the 90s? That man, that mind. Let's go ahead and finish touching on this last little bit, and then we gonna end it off because we had 3 hours and we only came for Biden shit. Yeah, man. Nah, the real body, man, the real body that got off. They done off the real body, and they ain't gonna see him no more. You gotta deal with that clone. You gotta deal with that clone now, man. Yeah. Let's see what else they gotta say before we get up out of here. I appreciate y'all for coming in, rocking with us, though. You know what I'm saying? I had to cover this, bro. I knew it was gonna be. I knew it was gonna be glorious. Like anytime, and then it's just him up there too. Oh yeah, this is an epic moment.
Inside the White House, inside this campaign.
Well, David, the White House, a source telling me they feel he knocked it out of the park, that he showed certainly his sophistication on a broad range of issues, including fielding all of those foreign policy questions. They feel that he had a good night here. The question is whether any of that is going to be enough, because the president certainly here is digging in. He doesn't seem to want to face that growing chorus of dissenters that we are hearing on Capitol Hill that continues to grow, insisting that, yes, he just needs to continue to show them that he can do this in these unscripted moments. But David, the president dismissing still much of their concern, and those answers have not yet been given to many Democrats.
Rachel Scott, live in Washington. You've been chasing down lawmakers. Any of them convinced tonight with this performance?
One Democrat put it to me this way, David, that this is a complicated scenario, that this eases concerns, that it does not erase them. Yet another Democrat, Congressman Jim Himes, has come out calling for the president to step aside tonight. Democrats telling me that they groaned and cringed when the president said Vice President Trump instead of Vice President Harris. But
Right.
every Democrat that I talked to tonight said they cannot believe they're in this scenario where the president's defending his age with 4 months to go.
John Carl, I have just 20 seconds here. Former Speaker Nancy Pelosi saying he needs to make this decision. Time is running short. He seemed to indicate again tonight that the decision's made.
He sure did, David. And look, he took a wide range of questions, complicated issues, did fairly well in all of that. But I think nothing changes the bottom line, and that is that many Democrats think he just can't win in November, and there needs to be a change.
John Carl in Washington. John, our thanks to you, Rachel, and to Mary. That is our coverage of President Biden for now. For many of you, World News Tonight is next, and the ESPYs in their entirety right here on ABC. Good night.
Shouts out everybody. I appreciate y'all coming in, rocking with us. He knocked it out the park, all right. He had me entertained. I ain't even go cat, B. He had me entertained, shoot. But like I said, bro, y'all want us to cover the next debate, or if y'all, and if Kamala daggone ends up becoming the president, y'all want us to cover that shit, let us know. I mean, it's been real. I appreciate y'all coming to rock with me. Like I said, it was an emergency live. I ain't expect to go live, but I did not expect to damn hear Biden was going into a solo conference tonight. But yeah, see y'all on the next one. Let's go ahead. Shouts out to Katrina. Same old gossip reheated. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna drop her link it's in the description box so you get to her channel. She has the card game without Google. It's a dope card game, and especially if you was like a 90s baby, you was born in the 90s, well, not born in the 90s, if you lived in and was raised in the 90s. Yeah, I mean, and some early 2000 stuff as well. Go get this game. This is a dope game, and it's a family game, you know. And shouts out to Full Spectrum, because Full Spectrum always say, you know, although we deal with this stuff like the elections and Biden's conference, and we got so much going on with the war and shit like that, it's a good time to have fun and spend time with your family and stuff like that. So shouts out to Full Spectrum Survival for always keeping that in there to have fun with your family.
What is that very first song that stamped hip-hop as your favorite genre? I'm not talking about the very first song you heard. I'm talking about that song that made you feel at home when you heard it. For me, it was Jay-Z's Hard Knock Life. I remember me and my brother, we were standing in front of the house, and he was just describing to me how the little girl was singing the chorus. And in my head, not knowing how things work, of course, I'm like, hey, why he ain't pick me for that video? So I studied that video, studied that song, and I just knew that this is where I'm going to be at for the rest of my life. Or how about that very first pair of sneakers you bought? Now, I didn't have the money, but I begged my mom for like a month straight to have $75 so I can go get me some all-white Air Force Ones. At the time, they were only $65, plus tax made them $70, and then I needed some bus fare to get back and forth home, because those times, somebody wanted some gas money, and I just ain't have it to give. You wasn't dipping into my Air Force One money. I dreamed about them shoes day in and day out until they was on my feet. You know how geeked I was to be walking around with those on? Now, what about the biggest sports moment that you heard about, even if you didn't watch sports? I still remember everybody and their mama talking about how AI crossed Jordan. Now, until that moment, you wouldn't even dare think that something like that could possibly happen to Jordan. So yeah, that was just the word, just I remember it. I remember. And I'll never forget the very first movie I remembered every line to, front to back, because
all you do is spin record. That's all you do.
We were born in this culture. We were raised in this culture and seen the evolution of this culture. And my passion for my culture compelled me to create Without Google the card game to test your knowledge of music, movies, sports, and fashion. Go over to withoutgoogle.store and make that purchase today. So that next time someone misses game night and it was lit, just let them know. You just had to be there.